Oh, hello. I barely noticed you there. Welcome, everyone. Sit down. Boy, do I have a tale to tell you. I've been across the lands. I've visited the druids. I've saved their people. I've been as low as the Underdark and as high as the mountain pass. And I just recently got out of Act 1. I hope you've been enjoying Baldur's Gate. We have many other things to discuss, my friends. There are so many things. So take a seat in jubilation and glee. Drinks for everyone. Let's begin the show. I had somewhere I was going and I completely forgot it. Oh man, good afternoon, gamers.
I was looking at my my Steam page before we fired up, and I looked over, and I've already put in almost 100 hours since the early access, since it full launched.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Dude.
It's a lot of hours.
Wow. I mean, that's kind of impressive.
It's a lot of hours. Not
I
really.
definitely have. I sadly
impressive.
have not put in that many hours. I feel like I want to. I wish I did, but I haven't yet. So first and foremost, welcome to the Just Gaming Podcast with me, Ian, and
me, Mark.
And Mark. A little bit more enthusiasm there, bud.
And
I need you. You're at about a 2 right now, and I need you at about a 7.
All right.
Instead of getting water, you probably should have had coffee or something like that. I don't know. So, if this is your first time, welcome, family, welcome, dude. So I love these podcasts where we have just one major thing to talk about, and we always know what it's going to be when these new games release. Because, well, I mean, this has been a good week for gaming, man.
It's the level that the gaming community is latching onto this game is incredible. This is, I wouldn't say it's probably as high as the Elden Ring was at that time, but it's pretty effing close. And especially for this type of genre is amazing. It really is amazing.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
most people, I mean, there's no pew-pews and, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Seeing new folks in the chat, seeing Jurgen and, well, Nix is always here. Felipe, Jessica, Itzel, Ryan, welcome guys, welcome. Love seeing new chatters coming to visit. So week wise, I popped out a couple videos. It was hard to do because I just really wanted to play Baldur's Gate. So like every single time I sat down to like record something, I just wanted to just play more of the game.
Yeah. It's like normally, like even when you know, Diablo had come out, like my wife really doesn't mess with me too much with my gaming. It's my thing. She's literally saying, when are you gonna come say hi, or you know, see me?
Now she's like, hey, this is becoming a problem.
Yeah, I live here.
Yeah.
So.
By the way, you're not here alone. That's not the only room of the house. Yeah. Yeah. It's starting to smell.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's weird because like normally like I just like making videos, so I usually like talking about games more than actually playing games. At least that's how it's been over the last like couple years or so, outside of like Elden Ring or Tears of the Kingdom, Final Fantasy 16, like a few games that like I just couldn't peel myself off of. But this is just one of those things where it's just like, yeah, I should probably be like with the rest of the guys making a bunch of videos right now, but I just want to play the game.
Yeah.
I just want to play the game. I'm thinking about it at work. I'm thinking about it on the toilet. I'm thinking about it right now.
I've had a dream about it. I've had a dream about the game. No, playing the game, not... Okay, a little bit of some of the stuff in the game.
Yeah?
Lizelle, can't help myself.
I dream of Lizelle. The least romanced character in the game, apparently.
Yeah.
I saw some stats, and they're like, we're surprisingly nobody likes to get Yankee. It's like, well, I mean,
y'all made the characters pretty unlikable.
Have you looked at Karlach? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
There is no other character to romance. So let's see here.
Baldur's Hub.
Baldur's Hub. It feels like that, man. When I got that first scene, hot mama. Good lord. Dude, I'm not gonna lie. There's actually been some conversations in that game that have actually made me blush at my desk, where I was like, oh my.
Are you talking to me?
Some shit Karlak says, or you're just like, damn, girl. All right, okay.
I'm a little strong.
Yeah. So, have you been following anything else gaming lately? I don't know if anything else has been on your mind. You've been looking at anything?
I've been keeping up with any Diablo news, obviously because I like the game, but just because I'm waiting for it to kind of get to more of a state where I would want to jump back into it. But with like Baldur's Gate, I hadn't installed a bunch of games. You know what I mean? Like I had stuff like, and so I was like, I'll get to it. No, I was like, guess what? You're
time
gone.
To do some late spring cleaning, right?
Yeah, you're gone. No, honestly, like Baldur's Gate's just been so consuming that I just between my solo playthrough and our co-op playthrough, which I'm like, it's so hard because I want to play both. You know what I mean? Like I was like, I'll get confused if thinking I have something in my inventory in one game and not the other. So I'm like, I know I've got that somewhere. I'm sitting there scrolling around. I was like, no, it's with the end.
Yeah, that's like my solo playthrough. I'm playing through it. I keep seeing like monk stuff, and I'm like, ooh, that's gonna be really good for my. Oh wait, no, I can't give it to him. I have to wait until I find it on the monk. So I mean, the only other thing that like I've really been paying attention to lately is like you said, I keep up with the discourse around Diablo 4 because obviously I do love my ARPGs. And I've always been hoping that the game is going to get better. But I'm going to be honest with you. I've been really optimistic when it comes to Diablo 4. Way more optimistic than most people. Especially if you look at some of my earlier videos on Diablo 4. I was very, very generous with that game. Very generous. Because I was like, well, how about instead of us like getting all fired up and getting crazy, let's wait to see when it comes out, give it a little bit of time, and then kind of go from there. You know what I mean? I wasn't telling people to. I'm not telling people to pre-order the game or anything like that. But I was just saying, like, let's just like not dog on the devs until the game comes out, and then see what the company makes. Because a lot of people were really convinced before Diablo came out that it was going to be a pay-to-win rug pull. Like a lot of people thought it was going to be Diablo Immortal for $70, and you'd still have to pay for your items and all and stuff like that. They genuinely thought that, and that was the thing that I was trying to push back on because I was like, I think the game looks like it's shaping up pretty good. But with this latest bit of little drama that they had come out with the Diablo 4 devs playing the game, it's the dungeon designers.
You have to
quote. Yeah. But the Diablo 4 devs, they're dungeon designers playing the game. Things that they said more than their gameplay. A lot of people were like, "Oh my God, look, they're actually terrible at the game." In one sense, if you're in a senior position at a video game studio, I think Asmongold said it when I saw his video on it too. If you're in a senior position at a video game studio, you should be proficient in that game. I would expect everybody at Larian Studios to be really good or pretty decent at playing Baldur's Gate 3. Right? Just as I would imagine everybody that worked on Diablo 4 should probably be pretty proficient at playing Diablo 4.
Yeah, and these people and the people that you're talking about, these are the level design people, and they're having a hard time playing the game, which is super weird. You know what I mean? Like, if they're level design and they can't navigate the level.
Yeah. But beyond that, it was actually just some of the things that they said that made me lose a lot of faith. And then I kind of realized this is just the chain of events that's been happening since 2018. There was specifically one thing that the developers had brought up where they had said that, like, sometimes I go and I talk to the people from the overworld. The people that work on the overworld and the people that work on the dungeons don't have any correlation. They don't talk to each other. They don't work together. They don't do anything other than work on the same game, but they don't have any communication. So the dungeon people are actually surprised about how the overworld works, and the overworld people are surprised on how the dungeons work, which makes a lot of sense because what it sounds like is that every single cell of the company, depending on what game they're developing, is all separated into these little pods. You have the overworld people here, you have the itemization people that are working over there, you got the dungeon people that are working over here, and none of those people are actually conversating with one another. So there's no cohesive game that's put together, which makes a lot of sense because none of the game systems really make a whole lot of sense with one another.
Well, yeah, the resistance teams, they didn't really work with anybody.
They didn't even come in. What are you talking about? They were never hired in the first place.
They worked from home.
Yeah,
you just sent it in.
But like, that aside, you get what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
It makes a lot of sense if you're looking at something like enchantments and like economy. Like the economy of the game doesn't really make sense with the gearing of the game.
No, it doesn't at all. And I think did you watch Ackman's latest video?
No, not yet. I saw it. It popped up in my feed.
But he brings up one really crucial point about the gearing. It shows like this whole list of like all the different things gears can do, like added damage for ice, added damage for frost, added damage for cold, instead of having just one for all three of those. Added damage multiplier for while transforming, adding one as a bear, adding one as you know what I'm saying, instead of just one deal. And then they can't get resistances to work because they have so many different affixes of what the damage should be. Ice, frost, cold, and freezing should all be the same thing, right?
Yeah. I would agree. If you look at their like damage buckets and stuff like that they have, like for their balancing, of course their balancing's all over the place because they made it far more complex than was necessary.
Yeah.
Like damage resistance to distant enemies, damage resistance to cold enemies, damage resistance, damage reduction, poison reduction, take less damage from enemies that are poisoned. Like, holy shit, guys, like bring it back a little bit. Like you're going way too far in too quick. Like you can add that kind of stuff maybe later on into the game to add more spice to it, but I think it's the fact that they put that much variety in their damage types and their damage reduction types and their stat types that one makes it really boring to play.
Yep. Because
from a casual gamer's perspective, right? We are not hardcore gamers. Neither you and I are hardcore gamers. We just like to talk about video games. Yeah. From my perspective, I look at that gear and I'm like, this looks boring as shit. Yeah. I am so much more excited playing a game like Baldur's Gate 3 where an item drops and it says +1 to agility. And I'm like, or +1 to dexterity. Or like I found
+2.
Or I found a chess piece that was like +2 to strength up to a max of 20. And it maxed out my barbarian at 20. And I'm like, fuck yeah, this is the best chess piece ever in the entire game. And then it has these like really cool, unique modifiers on top of it. But the problem is that when you're just hitting me with this wall of text, it's you're not going to read it. I'm not going to look at it. I'm like, okay, no. It's just, I don't know. That's probably a hot take. People probably aren't going to really agree with that one. But like, I would much rather, personally, this is just me, I would much rather Diablo's itemization just be as simple as health. So like strength, defense, attack, accuracy, intellect, like normal games usually are. And then you find modifiers for critical hit damage. Maybe you can make vulnerability could still be a thing, and mix that into there somehow. Have bonuses for crit damage. And then that's it. Yeah. And then build off of that. And then build using like unique modifiers rather than using all of these crazy different types of damage modifiers that make the itemization so weird.
I'm wondering if all of those damage modifiers were put in there because of PvP, and that's why they couldn't get the resistances to work right.
No way. Because it
doesn't make sense. Because if you look at Diablo 3, it doesn't have all that shit. It just has Dex, Int, Strength. You know what I mean, as your main deals. It doesn't have like all these other shenanigans.
I mean, you could still duel in Diablo 3.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
We could go into Sanctuary.
No. Yeah, you can duel.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the thing, and here's the thing. You also have to keep this in. A lot of people don't remember this, but when Diablo 3 was first being developed, don't you guys remember at BlizzCon they had a few different PvP things because it was supposed to be a PvP game. Diablo 3 was supposed to have like almost like MOBA-like PvP. They were going to they wanted to try to make it an esport. There's a whole lot of emphasis on PvP in Diablo 3. Yeah. So it's not like they didn't come into Diablo 3 without trying to make it a player versus player game. It was just something that they scrapped basically just before launch. That they were like, it's not going to work. It was too hard to balance. It was too hard to balance because Wizard was like way too busted. It was just no fucking way you're fighting.
So that was one theory. The next theory is it's easier for them to add in affixes and prefixes into a game to have different deals that do than it does to have them make individual assetted weapon drops. That's why all the weapons are the same weapons with different affixes.
Okay, I'm gonna propose to you a different theory.
Okay.
The guys that were working on the balancing and the modifiers and the substats for all the weapons and itemization, all that stuff, had no communication with any other department whatsoever and were left to their devices to make all of that content for the last few years and not work on anything else. So all they could do is like, well, we already made, attack, defense, critical damage, and crit. And they're like, what else do you guys want us to work on? And they're like, that. And they're like, I guess we'll make more. Like I could see that where it's just like they just made this really complex for no fucking reason a stat system for Diablo 4 specifically because they're not allowing these other team members to really mix and mingle with some of the other groups that are in the game or that are working on the game at the same time. And I think that's case in point if you guys look at that video that they had with the Diablo 4 devs playing the game, is that like they're sitting there and they're talking about how like they just don't have any like they don't really communicate with the other departments, and they're always surprised by the things that the other departments are working on, and that just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So and the thing is that I'm gonna explain this theory. Okay. I think the reason why they are so separated in all of their different departments is because of what happened to the company back in 2018.
Oh, you think?
They sat back and they go, none of these people can work together. We need to have them in separate cells working away from each other. We can't have them all in a huge group because if they do, then we're going to have all these complaints and there's going to be these HR issues and we're going to get lawsuits and we're going to get this and we're going to get that. The best thing that we can do is make people work away from each other as much as possible. Keep in mind, also at the same time, add on to that most of this game was developed during the pandemic. So a lot of these people were working remotely, which means none of these people were working together. If you remember, Rod Ferguson said he came in and his last 2 years of development were 1 year where they were still on lockdown, and then his last year was the year where they finally got to bring everybody back to the office. So it's not like that the workplace culture that he may have wanted to be able to implement. Just it's hard to be a closer for a game that you don't have a lot of connectivity and so many workplace issues.
Yeah, it's just so weird how like maybe the teams are over more than just like I might be taking this too literal. You know what I mean? Like it would just be weird for your weapons and stats people to not be talking to your animation people. You know what I mean? It just seems weird. But that's just me just taking stuff too literal. No, I would never. I just read audios. We're talking Diablo 4 versus Baldur 3, and I'm not. They're not the same game. They're not even close to the same game. I wouldn't want to do that to Diablo. It wouldn't be fair to do that.
No, they're not even on the same. They're not even in the same. No, they're not even in the same ballpark right now. What are you talking about? Yeah, and I'm not trying. And here's the thing, I don't even want to like beat up on the game. You know what I mean? Like that's not even my interest. Isn't even to beat up on the game. All I really want to do is I want the game to be better. And I think that the only way that the game is going to get better is if people continue to talk about it, people continue to voice their opinions about the game, people keep talking about the things that they like and the things that they don't like. And then also at the same time, we continue to talk about the games that we really enjoy, right? Like when we're talking about a game like Baldur's Gate 3, there's a lot of simplicity in Baldur's Gate 3, especially in its itemization.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of simplicity in that. And there's no reason not that you can't implement that kind of simplicity that still has a lot of flavor. Don't get me wrong. Like the itemization in Baldur's Gate 3 does have a lot of flavor. It's simple, but there's a lot of flavor.
Yeah. It's like,
and obviously I realize that that's there's a whole thing to that because of the fact that the game, is much lower level, so you're not trying to balance so many stats and stuff like that. But
yeah, it's Baldur's Gate 3. It's just different game. Yeah, and I don't want to beat up on Diablo 4. I still like Diablo 4. I'm just not playing it right now because, like, I'm so engrossed into Baldur's Gate. Just because it's such a different it's a different package. It's a different deal. It's a lot more story. It's a lot more.
Yeah.
I'm actually thinking Diablo is, even the older Diablos, it's a shut your brain off and just go through and wipe stuff out. You know what I mean? It's just it's more tactile and good and surprising. I've laughed. I've cried. I've cussed.
I've cried.
I've cussed so much.
I've cussed a lot. I've cussed a lot. Jesus. Dong in chat says, just look at what they said regarding Overwatch 2 PvE. It's too hard. They can't make it too hard. Yeah, and this is also that's a really good point to bring up because they're not working together. It's only hard because they're not working together. Either that or they just don't have the right people in the right positions right now. And this all comes down to a discussion that we had last week and the discussion that a video that I had made also brings up, which is the fact that like when you do not have people in creative positions that are running a creative company, this is what you see. This is the what you reap.
Yeah,
you reap what you sow. You have somebody in a management position, a CEO or whatever they are. They're the ones that are helping to make all of these decisions for the company, and all of that trickles down. All that trickles down, and all you start doing is you just start getting people in positions that aren't qualified for the positions that they're in. And then you also have this company where everybody is dejected. Nobody's working together. Nobody's communicating the way that they should be. And this is the product that you get. You get a game that
they got an evil overlord of Activision.
Yeah, but you know what the thing is that like when you have a company that has as many resources as Blizzard does, of course you're going to get a game that plays at least mechanically at a high level and looks good and has the right amount of polish and has music and has atmosphere and has all these different things, because why wouldn't it? They poured a shitload of money into it, right? But the creative part, the things that make players fall in love with the game, the things that make us have fun, the fun part is what a lot of I had somebody throw some flack at me where they're like, "What are you talking about? AAA game?" I'm not talking about every single AAA company has this issue with creativity or making games that people enjoy or people love. I think across the board there are tons of games that we can look at that we can say are absolutely fantastic, that are of AAA, do come from AAA companies that are still good. Even EA can come out with a solid game that people enjoy. Look at Fallen Jedi Survivor. Fallen Order. I'm mixing up titles. Sorry. But no, look at that game. Like, it did really well. People really enjoyed it. Yeah, it had some bugs at the start when it released, but it's still a good game.
Yeah, it's still a good game. They also got that new one that just came out, Avian something. I don't know. Anywho, yeah. No, they like. There's so many things, and I don't want to harp on it, but like it's a little bit of the problem that people are having with the game is that it is a live service game. It doesn't have the end game, or it's not a full polished one-off game. You know what I mean? It's not like a Baldur's Gate 3 where it's just a one-off story. You're done. You can replay it again, right?
Yeah.
So, like, and us consuming, like, gamers, we have a problem where every game has to last us forever, and it's the only game we're going to play ever again. And there's just not a game out there like that. If you're really looking for something like that, I suggest looking at like a Final Fantasy 15 or 15, 14, or like a just other MMOs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 15, yeah, just play it forever. It was so good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what you're looking for. But yeah, like I think their biggest problem. I watched somebody else's take on it, and they had a good point. Like a lot of the things that they need to fix aren't that hard to fix, right? And the fact that it's taking them that they're timelining it out for like 6 months to a year. That's way too long for this game. This game's gonna end up really dying off if they do that.
Oh, man. So this is I'm gonna take a different stance on that. Actually, if Diablo 3 is like really good in a year, and it takes them that long to be able to patch it, add content to it, and really round it out as a good live service title, I don't think it's gonna be permanently dead. I think people would come back. I think people would try it, especially because people have already bought it anyway, so they already own it. And then on top of that, it just depends on how well they can market, support, and then and promote it. It's actually really easy. I can give you a really good example, and I'd love to see somebody push back on this. Okay, really good example how you fix this situation. They patch some stuff in. They put some really good content in. They make the game a lot more fun for players to play. They do what they got to do. They listen to the players' feedback. They listen to content creator feedback as well, because I think content creators do serve as a loudspeaker for the communities overall. It might not be the overall community, but as an example, a lot of the people that watch a single channel probably and subscribe to that channel and then interact with that content creator, I would guess a lot of those people agree with the takes of that content creator.
Yeah,
right.
They do.
So like listening to content creators that play the game professionally all the time or whatever they might do, listening to the community a whole lot, playing other games as well, like playing Path of Exile or something like that. Take all that you've learned, put it into the game, put some love in there, a little bit of spice, and then put some drops on it on Twitch, or just pay some Twitch streamers to start playing it, and the next thing you know, all of a sudden the game's alive again.
Yeah. No,
people underestimate how powerful it is just paying people to make something popular again.
Yeah.
It's a corrupt system, but it works. It works.
If they would just go forward with all of their patches before they do a patch, does this patch make the game fun?
Yeah.
If it
Rick
doesn't,
actually brings
don't
it up.
do it.
Rick brings it up right there. Cyberpunk and No Man's Sky also got a, well, I mean, No Man's Sky didn't get a small redemption. No Man's Sky got a freaking
Rocky Balboa style.
That was nutty, dude. Holy shit. Yeah, that's a comeback story right there. But it's possible. It's possible for anybody. But at the same time, here's the thing: when people are saying it's going to take too long, like they're spacing it out too far for Diablo 4 to make to make all these changes or whatever, I don't think it matters, because the problem is that the game's already sleeping.
And this is your pushback.
It's already lost 87% of its player base.
Yeah, you said you wanted pushback. Here's the pushback. All those games that have these great redemption stories are all single player games. They're not a live service game. No Man's Sky's multiplayer. So I'm talking.
It wasn't initially when it launched.
I'm talking about a live service game. Like it's sold to you as a live service game. So it'd be like buying Netflix, and then after you watch the first season of a show, they just take the whole show off. They just drop the ball completely to where you just stop watching it. You know what I mean? So it's different. It's different than just CD Projekt Red fixing a broken game versus, a live service game with, little content, and just keep making it, like, updating it worse and worse. Like, I want to hear, like, the Benny Hill music going on when they're just, like, doing these patches. You know what I mean? Like, just breaking everything. So
yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I hope the best for the game, because I want to play it, but I don't know. I get what you're saying about the live service thing, but I don't really think it matters as much as you think it does. Do you know what? I take that back. It does matter. It matters whether or not Blizzard wants to continue to invest in the game.
Yeah,
if they're not making a bunch of money back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it boils down to. I mean, it's a live service. You gotta look at the model. It's a live service game that they just keep fumbling the ball. They're like the Cleveland Browns of game development right now. On that game, it's crazy. Like everybody wants them to win and just can't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. That does make things a little bit more complicated because the thing is, you look at a game like Overwatch 2. Chat had brought up Overwatch 2. I don't think the game's going to last much longer. I think they're going to start. I think they're going to start withdrawing their resources from Overwatch. They've already started by removing the PvE content and getting rid of that completely. Now all of a sudden they're killing Overwatch League, so there's that as well. So now there's no competitive Overwatch esport anymore. At least not anything that's funded by Blizzard or supported or promoted by Blizzard. And then now on top of that, think what else is right around the corner for Blizzard?
Microsoft acquisition.
Well, we already know about that, but no, there's something. No.
That's it.
What, does nobody remember that these guys are currently working on a survival MMO?
No, Baldur's Gate 3 came out, so no, I don't remember anything.
That's all we know.
I don't remember anything.
Yeah. So they're working on a survival MMO right now, and I could easily see them just withdrawing their resources from Overwatch, letting it go the way of Heroes of the Storm, and then going all in on their next title because there's going to be a bunch of hype surrounding it when it gets released, and they'll probably do the same thing to Diablo. Diablo will probably also be a game that within the next year or so will be on maintenance mode because they're just not the kind of company that will continue to put resources into something because, again, not creative, only just a regular business mogul CEO, fucking Bobby Kotick piece of shit, right? Where you have this person that they don't see any value in making. I don't care if people are having fun. I care if we're making money. That's the view, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, it is a business. You know what I mean? So it's just like.
Yeah, but for how long?
But it's just like any business, you have to make a product that people want to buy, that people want to keep investing in. But if you like it, we talk about this all the time when companies spend their goodwill, eventually,
it's gone.
Eventually, you stop buying McNuggets.
Yeah. Eventually, you will reach the what is it? Terminal velocity.
Saturation.
You're not going to pull yourself out. You're not going to pull yourself out of that nosedive. It's just not going to happen because the thing is that what you're going to do is you're going to have robbed yourself of not only talented employees because the people that are really talented that want to make great games are just going to ship out and go work for another company. They'll go work for Larian. They'll go work for some AA studio that's making some really cool shit. Yeah. They're not gonna continue to work for you. They're gonna leave, and then you're just gonna get all you're gonna have is these uncreative corporate lackeys that are just looking to punch the clock and make the game, and that's about it. And they're really not passionate about the work. And everybody's trying to make their dollar. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But eventually, you're gonna get to the point where you're so creatively robbed, you can no longer provide a product to the people that they enjoy.
Creativity. What is it? Creativity. Oh, bankrupt.
Creatively bankrupt.
Bankrupt.
Yeah. So I think that's like the I hate to say it, but I think that's the end story for Blizzard as a company, and we've already seen it with Activision.
Yeah.
Right. Like I mean,
well, they weren't putting out a Call of Duty this year.
Don't
and then Modern Warfare
strike.
3 gets announced.
Yeah. So. Don't strike me down where I stand, but. Modern Warfare 2, like how many games are you guys going to continue to just recycle until you run out of shit? They're already talking. Modern Warfare 3 is coming out now.
Yeah,
you saw that, right?
3. Yeah, I did.
Modern Warfare 3, even after they said, "Oh yeah, we're going to a 2-year cycle or whatever." Fucking bullshit. No. They're like, no. Actually, guys, we need to go back to the money machine real quick. Hold on. What do you guys think about Modern Warfare 3? Holy shit, man! Like.
Oh,
GG, and let me guess. The next thing that they're gonna do is they're gonna remake Black Ops 1.
Yeah,
that's the next thing, right?
That's fair. Yeah.
It worked with Modern Warfare.
Yeah, that's fair.
So it's got to work with this. Let's keep
Not
playing.
gonna argue that.
It's so stupid, dude. So stupid. It's only going to work for so long until all of a sudden they realize. And do you know what the thing is?
Well, it's because other companies have gotten away with it and it worked.
So I've some people that you guys have seen this in like videos that I've said something about this. I work in construction, and something that I've noticed is that with a lot of these like major industrial plants, whether it's like, I don't know, energy or whatever, like manufacturers, there are a ton of people that are working in higher positions at these companies that are literally just trying to get by until they can retire. Regardless, they are just making choices, just trying to kick the can down the road just far enough for them to jump ship before that ship sinks.
Yep.
Because they know that they have no idea what the fuck they're doing, because the last guy that they got the job from never taught them how to do the job right, or they were never qualified to be in the position that they're in, and nobody ever trained them. The company never took it upon themselves to train these people to do the right things. So they're just kicking the can down the road, hopefully being able to get off ship before it sinks. And I think that's the same thing that's happening in a lot of these AAA companies, where you have a lot of people that were hired into positions that don't understand the industry, don't understand the product, don't understand the customer, and they're just kicking the can down the road, just hoping to God they can retire before this thing goes down. Because they're looking at Activision Blizzard and they're like, it's worth how much? Fuck, I gotta get out of here before they find out. Before they find out.
That's why the whole board there was like, oh yeah, we'll sell. Go ahead, sell.
Yeah. They're like, oh, sell the company?
Yes. I vote yes.
Dude's already out there. He's putting his fucking parachute on. He's like, all right, I'm fucking out of here.
Oh, shit.
Pull the ripcord, boys. Daddy's coming home. That's actually probably Bobby Kotick, actually.
No, you know what? There's a weird consensus that I think Microsoft
loves him.
Microsoft's going to keep him on.
Microsoft loves him.
Microsoft's going to keep him on.
He's going to be the new Bill Gates.
Yeah. Steve Ballmer.
No, he's going to be the new Linda Gates.
Linda Gates. Oh my God.
Oh man.
All right. You want to get into the spoiler cast for Baldur's Gate?
We're not doing it's not a spoiler cast.
Oh, my bad.
Most people here have seen things for Act 1. If you guys do not want to hear anything for Act 1, there may or may not be some spoilers for Act 1. Today, the topic of discussion is Karlach, pop my cherry.
All right, I got a quick question. Chat, better Druid, Baldur's Gate or Diablo IV? I played both, and I know my answer.
I've seen people keep asking. The giveaway is not until a little bit later. We'll announce it. What we did last time is that we announced it to chat. We had you guys put in a specific number that we request into the chat box, and then we do a random generator giveaway that'll pull a couple people for the codes that we have. I hope that answers your questions.
Oh, Nyx just got on your bad side. I would agree with you though, but yeah,
what?
on your said Karlach
say something
worse than
stupid.
Shadowheart, in his opinion, in their opinion. Yeah.
How do you ban?
You have to ask your moderators.
Mods? Mods? There's some fake news in the chat.
Yeah.
There's some fake news in the chat.
All right.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm about to fight him, seriously. So anyway, man, 35 hours I think is what I put into Act 1.
Okay. What level did you hit before you left?
Six-ish. I think so. Yeah, 6, because I'm level 8 now, and I've been traveling in the Shadowlands. I've been adventuring in Act 2, doing my Act 2 stuff. I am actually not surprised with how long it took to do Act 1.
I think for me, I was so ready because I put so many hours into the early access that I was so ready to get to Act 2 that I forgot some stuff and missed some stuff. And I was, like I said, you were level 8 before me, like well before I was. So
Yeah.
I was fighting in Act 2 well underleveled, which was frustrating, but it was also fun. I didn't want to just walk through it, but it was. I had some fights where I literally had to just stand up and walk out of the room for a little bit, touch grass, come back in, and then give it another shot.
Breathe some air a little bit.
Breathe
Yeah.
some air.
Breathe some air. Yeah. So so I would like to talk about just some like overall thoughts on first act. I do have a review for the first act I'm going to be putting out soon.
Nice.
I'm working on that right now, putting some notes together and stuff like that. I've been tapping away on the side while I've been playing the game. But the pacing in this game is probably some of the best I've ever seen. Like, I never felt like I was ever doing anything out of order necessarily. You definitely can walk into the wrong place at the wrong time. You definitely can do that. That is 100% possible.
Yeah. He was like, have you been to this temple? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, well, I got to go to this tower. And I'm like, you didn't go there? Like, that's at the beginning of you didn't. He's like, no, I'm going over there now. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
You're
you can
you're
definitely.
at the end part of that quest.
Yeah, you can definitely do some stuff out of order. That is for sure. But the thing is that like what I've noticed is that the game does a really good job of just kind of massaging you in the right directions. Like, it's not like, oh, I walked this way and it's just like hard wall. Here's level 6 enemies. You're in the wrong place. No, it's more like, you know what? This area is just a little tough. Maybe I should go back and do some quests and stuff like that. Back near the Grove. Or maybe I should like adventure north for a little bit and check that area out or something like that. Or maybe you're like, I feel like I missed something. Maybe I'll go talk to some NPCs and see if I can drum up some other type of quest.
Yeah, and I really appreciate that what Larian did of there's certain points, like even when you get into Act 2, there's certain points in the game. Like in Act 2, I can still hop back into the Act 1 area.
No, you're not. You're not banished, Nix.
No, you're not banished. We see
Yet.
you. So once you're in the Shadowlands, you can still pop back, but you'll get to a certain point in the narrative that it'll even pop up and say, "Hey, make sure you're done doing everything before you venture out." So it says that in Act 1 going into Act 2, but I can still go back into Act 1. It gets to a point though. I'll let you know now that it does get to a point that's not possible. So make sure you get everything wrapped up before you scuttlebutt on.
There's a couple places where it still gives you the choice before you need to go forward. It's never put me in a position where it's like you have to. The only time it is where it's like, hey, it'll still tell you, hey, there's some stuff that you need to do, and then it'll put you in a place where you can't go to camp and you can't teleport out, right? Yeah. But that's on you because you click the button saying, hey, I'm ready to go. You know what I mean? But the one thing that I really like that they do with this game, and I feel like a lot of people haven't noticed or aren't talking about it. No side quest feels like a side quest.
Yeah, no, 100%. Every quest feels like a main quest.
This is an RPG that doesn't have, hey, I need some flowers. Go get me some flowers. Can you kill me? Can you go over there and kill me like 5 or 6 boars? Like, no, none of that stuff. Like, the game is just like, there's always something really contextual to the actual story itself or to your characters or
They're
something. It's all
the
really rich side quests that are comparable to a lot of main story quests we would see in other contemporary RPGs.
Yeah, I mean they're just so rich and they're full of lore. Like, and with so much dialogue in the game, like this is like that would have been a complaint for, and this is the difference of the audience. And so I'm kind of curious to see how this does on console. Honestly, I really am. They knocked Final Fantasy 16 because of how slow it was story. You know what I mean? Like the slow story build. This game not only has story, it has action, but it's also there's lore to pick up and read. There's like doing a side mission isn't, just like he was saying, a trivial task. It's actually you're actually doing something. You're actually going and figuring out a serious issue. It's not like it's usually some sort of seedy underbelly type deal.
Yeah.
Like I found one that I'm trying to find this guy. Not too many details, but he's stuffing. I got to find out what product or what he's stuffing in these teddy bears and handing them out to kids. That's what I'm working on right now. Well, you are just flipping cameras everywhere.
Well, yeah, I was trying to fix it. Now I can't fix it, so now it's just boned. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead, continue.
But yeah, the side missions, they don't feel like side missions. And going in underleveled, I would recommend going in either at same or just under, like one level under. It'll give you enough of a challenge. I got to a point where I hate paladins now. I think they're the worst. And then I ran into some monks, and they are the absolute worst. The absolute worst.
Yeah.
They don't stop punching you, and you don't stop dying. So they are the absolute worst to fight. Absolute worst.
Oh, monks?
Yes, the absolute worst.
Yeah, I could probably see that just because like they're high dex, so they're really hard to hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then also the multiple attacks and stuff. Oh.
Yeah, it's worse than paladins.
I was going to say, paladins will just be like, I'll just crit you to death.
Yeah.
Because they have all those guaranteed crits, and they're just like, dead. You're just like, they came up and like drilled Carlock, and she had like, I don't even know, at the time, she had like 80 some odd health or something like that. Even with some like with some bonus aid, and I'm like, oh shit, dude, that's rough.
Yeah. Apparently, there's a skill for the monks that after they do their 4 tap of love on you, they'll cause a key explosion, and it works that way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of high level spells that are gonna be pretty crazy. I've actually seen a couple of spells that I didn't want to see yet that were in some like slightly spoilery content that I was watching. That I hate when people do that to me, when they just like slide in some like spoiler content in the middle of their shit. I'm like, holy, whoa. You didn't say anything about that, man. You didn't say anything about that. Who cares says gaming system mid 80s. BG3 is in my top 5. Been a long time since a game has captivated me in this way. I 100% agree with you. Yeah. I was talking to somebody. I don't think I brought this up in the last podcast, but somebody's asked me, like, do you really think it's game of the year, or do you think it's a really great, or do you think it's a great game? And it may or may not be like in competition for like RPG of the decade.
Yeah. For real.
Like, and I'm not. I don't really feel like I'm being that hyperbolic with this.
No.
You know what I mean? I really don't. Like, I think genuinely Baldur's Gate 3 would be in the race for RPG of the decade. Because it's so... I get a bunch of comments about, oh, there's these bugs. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck about bugs, dude. I don't care about bugs. Because you know what happens to bugs? They get squashed. They get fixed. Look, we're 3 hot fixes in already. Larian is pumping this shit out. Yeah. They are not sleeping at the wheel. They're not like, oh my god, the game exploded. I guess we're done, guys. No, they're hard at work fixing everything that they possibly can, because you got to keep in mind, man, like I am more than understanding when it comes to bugs in this game, specifically because of how deep it is and how many systems there are and how many different layers of narrative complexity and permutations of different outcomes for everything that happens in the game. Of course there's going to be some holes, because it's one of those things. There's no way you could have had anybody test every single potential ending or for every single storyline in the game before the game's released. There's just no way. Unless you wanted us to wait another year for it.
I mean, we all played Act 1 for 3 years, just a part of Act 1 for 3 years.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, it's so big.
Most players just, what do they say? Most players just spent 88 years in total just in character creation over the first weekend.
Yeah. The first weekend had a total of 1,225 years played.
Let me. I think I have their statistics that they have. I want to bring those up. I have their infographics. Let's do this. Since people don't like some scenes, would want a few more lines. What is this? Nick says Larian's on top of the fixes. That's why some changes editing. Yeah. No, they've been absolutely crushing it. I've been following their stuff. I don't know if do you guys want me to make videos on like hot fixes and stuff? I don't think it's really necessary. I see some people do it, but I don't know if I want to.
I think once the mod community gets going, I think we should do videos on that.
I have stuff coming for that actually really quickly. Okay. Very soon. So opening weekend numbers, 368 players had managed to finish the game in the opening weekend.
Dude, I know life this. I played 13 hours last Sunday. Last night I played from 3 a.m. to 3 a.m. and I just now hit Act 3. So.
The only way I see this happening is if they just beelined it. And even still then I'm like, you're still like a fucking gamer. Yeah. Because like there's just some situations that you would have had to put yourself in from speed leveling, or not even speed leveling, from just like speed running the game, that you would have been in some situations in which like you'd have been really under leveled. Now the only way that I could see you getting around that is by cheesing the game. So I know that I know that they still have like barrelmancy or boxmancy. You remember from Divinity? I know that's still a thing. So people are just killing people with chests and stuff like that. So that's a deal.
I finally found a scroll of telekinesis, and it's I can't wait till I unlock that skill. Yeah.
So it says over 93% of players rolled a custom character. That is probably like the most believable thing. I kind of figured nobody would run it. No,
that's
it's not
surprising. I would think, no, I'm not saying that like I was thinking like in the 80s, but like that's a pretty high percentage of just custom rolls.
Yeah, a lot of people. The main reason why is because it's a fantasy game. It's a D&D game. Yeah. You're going to want to play your own character. You want to see how your character is going to interact with the other people's. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's not surprising to me at all. Players spent a combined 88 years in character creation. Now, this is the funny thing, because I've seen a lot of judgment levied at Baldur's Gate 3 for not having a AAA character creator, and how what is it? Like Street Fighter 6 has a better character creator. Well, it's probably because Larian Studios and most of the RPG community doesn't want to make characters that look like freaks walking through the world.
Yeah, well, I mean, and Japanese studios do have really good character creators. They just do. Like that's their deal. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's kind of a weird deal. I have no problem with this. Could they add more stuff? Yes. Could there be more options? Yes. Could I? Would I like to just tweak my face, like move, your chin and all that stuff? Yeah, but it's not necessary. I mean, it's an isometric game. You know what I mean? I'm not.
Yeah.
But then again, you do stare at yourself in a lot of cutscenes.
Yeah, so. And that's the thing. You want to make yourself look good. And here's the other thing too, is that like a lot of people. So I'm not gonna get into like some weird pseudo political discussion on this stuff or anything like that. But it is really weird how people are trying to make the character creator to be some like weird like woke thing or something like that. I think it's fucking fine. I think it's acceptable. I think it's great. Our characters look good. Our characters look cool. People have the freedom to make their character look pretty much however the fuck they want to, or anything like that. And guess what? Inclusive. It's D&D. It's a video game set in a fantasy world where this should all be possible anyway. So it doesn't make any sense to have people pushing back on that kind of stuff. And it's great to see that those voices aren't very loud because they're completely quieted by the fact that it's a good game.
Yeah. And you have to make those choices.
Well, yeah, we can get into something like that. Yeah. There's definitely some weird fixation on like the house and romance scenes and stuff like that. And it's just like, you know, we've made the joke in the past. Like it can't be like they forced me to do this. I can't stop. Yeah. I had no idea that this was happening.
Where's space? Right. Oh, there it is.
How do you get?
Found it.
How would you accidentally walk into that situation? Because these characters in this game are pretty blatant with how they're throwing it at you.
Yeah. They are handing that stuff out like
they are not readily. Subtle. This is not. They are not subtle. They're like, hey, so I was thinking you should bend over. You're like, whoa. Gale, I was just asking if you saw my backpack.
Yeah. You walk up to Astarion and he's like, oops, dropped it.
No, apparently Astarion's incredibly difficult to romance. It's just,
he is.
However, Gale is incredibly easy. Gale, you'll like sneeze over in the corner and Gale goes, "Oh, did you just say you love me?"
Would you like a kiss?
Is that what you just said? No, I sneezed. It sounded like you love me. I saw somebody make a meme of Gale, and it was like, Gale, I'm with Carlock, and he's like, yeah, but what about me?
Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't see any problem with the game being inclusive, allowing people to create however they want to create. You know what I mean? That's what this is. It's an RPG that allows you to make a character that is your digital representation, right? So I don't see a problem with it.
It just doesn't bother me. I think so. I think if you wanted to make the argument for that kind of stuff about how, like, you know, too much attention to detail was put into the wrong places, if it was a bad game,
yeah,
right, then it's a different story, and then that's when we have those kind of discussions. I think a really good example of that is the stuff that went on with The Witcher, right? Mm-hmm. Where it's like nobody cares if you're trying to put forth a message or anything like that, or if you're trying to make something more inclusive. People care if it's also a shit product, right? Disagree.
No, you're right. I just read that last comment.
Half-word dragon. Oh my god. Yeah, no shit. Anyway, all right. So moving on. Origin character creation. This says a lot. 27,000 people made Gale. How does it feel to be a basic ass person, Mark?
Pretty good. It's a good story.
You're like basic as shit.
Well,
imagine how cool and unique you'd be.
He's the most.
Is he?
He's the most interesting of all the Origin characters, I think. If he dies, the fucking world explodes.
No, it doesn't.
Are you sure?
No, he said specifically a small city.
Okay.
He said he would blow up a city, not a fucking world. He's not that powerful.
I don't want to spoil it. I'll tell you off stream.
Anyway. And then Astarion and Carlock were pretty well matched. Lizelle down at the bottom. I've actually heard from a lot of people that she has a really good character story.
Yeah, where I've gotten in the main story, I think my character I'm gonna make race wise will be a Githyanki. So Githyanki.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, I'm thinking in my next playthrough I'll probably include her for sure. I'll probably include her in Astarion.
No, I can't do it.
What?
That's like those two characters. They're my least favorite. I mean, I know people love Astarion, but those two in the same party, God. You got one that just hates you. You got one that hates you and wants to kill you while you're sleeping. The other one wants to bite on you while you're sleeping. Oh, it's awful.
Yeah. Let's see here. Gale was the most picked person. Gale was also the 7th cause for death of players. But you only have yourselves to blame for being so flammable. It's if you took Gale and you didn't take the ability to like make it where you don't hit your people.
Yeah.
Class choices. Paladin is number 1. I could see that one a mile away. Same goes for Sorcerer. They're great face characters. They're probably the best to play. Initially. Just because the fact that they have the high charisma rolls, so you can
and
you can do that.
And skills wise, they're probably the lowest learning curve. I think Sorks or Warlocks are.
Almost 100,000 players have been rejected by Astarion.
That was me on our playthrough. I went up there with my metalhead druid, and he was like, "Nah, bro."
Nah.
I was like,
I'm good.
Astarion, check out my neck
good.
tattoo. He's like,
chat.
nah.
I'm actually interested. Chat. You guys tell me who you guys trying to romance, and if it's not Karlach, then I don't know. We're probably not friends anymore. In terms of diplomacy, most people are good. Most people didn't assault the Grove. Yeah, you can see that. Most people, by a long shot, are going to play a good playthrough their first time through. The one thing that I will say, I don't know what is up with these dark urge characters, but anytime they want to comment on a video, if anybody that's playing Dark Urge wants to comment on a video, they almost always leave a spoiler. Oh, that happened to you? That's funny because I murdered them and then this happened. And I'm like, okay, fucking edgelord. Get out of here, dude.
I rope-a-doped you because when we were playing, I was just ahead of you and I was doing stuff, and then you're like, you should have told me I needed to do this. No, sorry.
Okay.
I had to struggle. You're gonna struggle.
Yeah. No, but it's just really funny. If you look at some of the comments on some of the videos, there's a ton of them where there's just people that are like, oh yeah, oh that happened to you. Well, that didn't happen to me because I played Dark Urge and I ate their soul. I'm like, all right, dude. Just so you know, this is what's gonna happen when you play Dark Urge. And I'm like, all right, man, fucking chill, dude. Just chill, man. I think Dark Urge will probably be my next playthrough, I'd imagine, maybe.
Yeah.
I also kind of want to do just a straight up evil no Dark Urge.
Yep, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. Sorry, I didn't even watch the. Isn't there a cutscene for Dark Urge when you like an origin story? I didn't watch it.
Is there a cutscene for what now?
Is there a cutscene like like for the origin stories you click it and does like a little cutscene for
yes.
each of the characters?
Yeah,
I didn't watch the Dark Urge one.
Oh, Cody didn't either. He was talking to me about that the other night. He said he didn't want to watch it yet. And I'm like, why not? And he's like, well, because. I'm like, all right, well, fine, dude, whatever.
Well, he's got such a weird moral compass, and he is playing a paladin, isn't he?
Yes, he is playing a paladin.
Yeah.
If he could, he'd play a paladin vampire.
And then bitch that he can walk through water.
Tell me. We have one of those very lore accurate friends, by the way, that like freak. And the funny thing is, like, I remember him saying something about that, and then realizing that like they actually there is a conversation specifically that you can have with Astarion, and he goes, I'm not burning in the sun. I'm not. I can walk through water. Yeah. I can do all this stuff, and he's like, it's specifically because of the tadpole. So he wants to find out more about it.
Because that was probably like an hour-long argument that we had with him about how it doesn't matter.
he was so mad. He was so mad because of our us wanting to talk to like Raphael. And he's just like, no, he's a demon.
He's a devil. And we're like, I'm gonna let him do this. I'm not giving him my soul.
And I'm like, come on, man. I mean, like, what if we get a cool power or sword out of it? And he's like, that's too high of a price to pay.
All right, so on your solo, are you putting in Illithid powers?
Yeah, I have 2 or 3, I think. But I'm not going all in. I'm not, because I looked at the rest of it, and I'm like, I don't really care about these that much. Now, I will have a playthrough where I go, like, full fucking brainworms. But,
they've got that shotgun mind blast that they do? Yeah, that's an ability on that.
Oh, that's on the outer rim? That you can't unlock yet?
It's on the outer rim, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. Maybe.
Yeah, my brain looks like Swiss cheese.
I bet. You're just like, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
So, One of the things that one of the things that I definitely want to touch on too when I'm talking about Act 1, especially just Baldur's Gate in general, and I wonder, and I guarantee there's probably some people in chat that are probably gonna have something to say about this too. It's been a really long time since I've played a game that I have genuinely lost track of time. Like, I mean, like gone. Like, there's nothing there. Like, I'm in space. Like, it literally happened yesterday. I looked down. I'm like, oh yeah, it's like 10 o'clock or something like that. I ate some breakfast. I turned on Baldur's Gate, and all of a sudden I was like 4:30. I'm like, whoa, dude, what happened? It happened the other night. I was playing it, after I got off work. I did a couple things. I played a little bit. Next thing I know, it's like an hour and a half past when I should be asleep by now.
Yeah. it's bad. Like, and the thing is because there's just so much to do, and then the breadth of doing it, man, looking and selling and looting and killing and talking, it just wraps you up. I think, God, what did we play? We played till like almost 4 my time Saturday.
Yeah.
I mean, it was then I got up at 6 and started playing again.
Do you know what? It's actually probably a pretty good time right now. Do you want to take down the numbers for the people?
Yeah. So everyone in the chat, if you are wanting a Steam, is it Steam or is it just
Steam?
PC? It's Steam. A Steam copy of Baldur's Gate 3 in the chat. Don't write any more comments. Just put enter a 1 and just send a 1, and then I'll get it started.
Yeah, just type a 1 in chat, and Mark will write your name down and put it in for the lottery. How this is gonna work is once we've selected your names, all you guys got to do is just reach out to me either on Twitter or on our Discord. Both links are down below in the comment section, and I will give you your code.
Yep. Last week's winner, Jacob. Ian was like, he hasn't contacted me.
Yeah, he took like 2 hours to contact me. I was like, what the fuck, dude?
See, this is why no one likes Tom right there.
And if you guys are wondering how you can prove yourself to be yourself, all you have to do is you can just show me like your YouTube account. I can show you an example right now, actually. If you're on your browser or if you're on your phone, you can click this little button up here where your thing is, and it shows your username. And as long as you take a little screenshot of that and show that to me, then I can verify that it was you in chat, and then I can give you your free copy of Baldur's Gate. Which, by the way, friends, we have 2 copies to give away today. Not just 1, 2. 2 copies to give away. So, super cool. Super, super cool. We had someone donate them. Very cool of them to do so. So we appreciate that. And hopefully we'll be able to do more of that in the future.
You know what'd be cool? Like if we get our hands on a PlayStation 5 copy to give away, because I know
I thought you were about to say a PlayStation 5, and I was like, "Whoa, dog!
No, the PlayStation
this channel
5,
is not big enough."
Like the PlayStation 5 community is, they like we have some people in the community that have they play on PS5, and I know they're looking forward to the game. That'd be really cool to give away too.
Yeah. Hopefully we can get one. Figure out. I don't even know how that would work.
A lot more people this week than last week.
Well, there's a lot of people watching the show this week. I really do hope. I hope that you guys will continue to watch, and I hope you guys will also continue to come back. And I also hope you guys are enjoying the show. Yeah, hey, do you guys want to meet down in New York City? We'll hand out free copies.
That's funny.
Oh, man. Right. Oh, man. So, let's see here. I still have some other notes, some other things that I want to talk about. I'll let you continue on doing what you're doing. Everybody's getting their ones out. And then while everybody's typing their ones in chat, I am going to continue to talk about the game that I'm loving so damn much right now. So one of the things that is really surprising about the game is that with as much like narrative, with as much like narrative depth as the game has, and also like, you know, just like monsters to kill and things like that, the game has like an absurd amount of density. Like an absolutely absurd amount of density, and it kind of freaks me out, to be honest with you, because there's just so much stuff to do. It's not just like, oh hey, I'm gonna go talk to this one NPC. They're gonna send me on a little quest. Like I'm gonna find something on the way once I've taken that quest. The next thing I know, I'm gonna be walking down a path, and I'm gonna find a cellar or something like that I'm gonna go down to, and maybe that's gonna have some type of quest item that's gonna lead me to somewhere else down the road. Sometimes you find an item. There's a certain couple places that I've been to in the game where you find an item that is going to be something useful for you to bring somewhere else. There's some items that you'll find, or objects that you'll find early in the game that are meant to go to like Baldur's Gate. Like they're things that you're going to need for the very end section of the game to unlock some type of skill, or not like some skill, but like unlock some other type of storyline or something like that. And it's just insane how dense this game is, and how it's just insane that they did it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just wild that they put this game together. And you sit back and you think about it, and it's like, there's so many. I hate to keep comparing them to other companies in the industry, but like, there's so much replayability here because there's so many different variations of different things that you can do in the game, different things you'll come across, items, builds that you can do, character interactions, side character interactions. Not even and I don't want to spoil anything, and this isn't really a spoiler of any sort, but there are other playable characters that you can get in the game to join your party that you have no idea currently. Right now, you have no clue that you can add these people to your camp. And sometimes some of these interactions come up, and I'm like, what, are you fucking kidding? There's more people to add to my party. There's more variety to add to my game. How did you guys even sit down and write this stuff out? How did you even come up with half of this stuff? It just blows my mind how deep this game is. I mean, like, and the thing is that like, and this is one of the reasons why I've talked about it quite a few times, where I've said like, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to make all these like build guides and stuff. I mean, I get it because theory crafting is a lot of fun, but like there's just an endless possibility of things you could do. And I don't know if I want to ruin it for myself looking at I've seen people posting videos of like character interactions, and it's like the 3 paths that you can have with this character. Watch this video now. And I'm like, I will fucking never.
Yeah, no shit.
Never.
Yeah. I'm not doing it. It's too much. It's too much. There's like TikTok's crazy with it right now. Even YouTube Shorts are really bad about it. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some of the cool stuff, like when they showed when they set up all the chests on the cliff for the Yankee and they push them off. That's kind of cool. Whatever. Yeah. But that's not very far in the game either. You know what I mean? So, no. But no, they were doing like some act. Now I know they're doing like some Act 3 type stuff, like showing people like, come on, man, it's too far, too soon.
Yeah. No. Well, no. I mean, like it was just wild to see like people wanting to post like story spoiler stuff where it's like, hey, do you want to know every single outcome for this NPC? And it's like, no, because then that ruins me ever wanting to play this fucking game again. You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about? And then the worst part is that when I see it has like 30 or 40,000 views, and I'm like, no, what are you doing? Do you have any idea? Do you have any idea how many comments I've gotten about like I made that save scumming video, right? And there are so many folks that are taking me seriously to the point where they think that I'm like trying to tell them how to live their lives, which is so far from the truth. So far from the truth. It's just a perspective. Hey guys, you can play it this way.
You know what? And I saw somebody else's video of it, and the same thing, the save scumming. And I'm not saying you didn't. I don't think people were understanding what you were saying. They were what you were specifically saying was, don't go into a conversation and go, oh shit, I'm gonna back out of this. I'm gonna save it because I want to see what the 2 different outcomes are, instead of just playing the game.
Yeah, instead of just playing the game. Like, role play as your character, but then people, well, I don't have time. I don't have time to play the game a second time. I'm going to do whatever I want.
Yep.
I don't care.
Yep.
That's not the point of the video. The point of the video is maybe the whole idea that I had, the reason why I even made the video was specifically because of the fact that I'm like, hey, there's probably some people that are out there that are like, I never thought of playing the game that way because we're so used to save scumming in other games where that's the way that you play the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're just used to doing that. Oh, just reload. And then people are like, oh, okay, so if all my characters die in combat, that's it? And I'm like, oh my God.
No.
You're so far off the camp. You're so far off the camp.
I'm not gonna I'm gonna give you this is a scenario that happened to me, and I'm not gonna give any specifics because it is further in the game. There's a part in the game where I have to protect somebody. And Ian, for instance, did protect them. I came when it was on for me, when the dude jumped in there, one shot that character. Started a whole different deal. There was a whole different fight.
Oh, yeah.
And then I lost an NPC that is crucial for Karlach's story that I will never be able to do.
No, you don't realize. You didn't just lose a crucial character to Karlach's story.
Yeah.
My friend, you lost a crucial character for the whole story.
Yeah.
That you don't even know yet, and you'll find out. So I'm really interested. You and I are going to have completely different outcomes.
Yep. And the reason I didn't reload it is because I'm playing it where it lied.
Yeah, you're just playing the game.
What happened?
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing.
Because then it's going to make it that much more cool the next time you go to play the game and that doesn't happen. And you know that you want to stop it. And then you do stop it. And then all of a sudden the game is completely different and it's a completely fresh perspective on the story and the characters. And it's like, oh, I'm playing a new game all over again. There are so many different plot points where that can happen. And that's what makes this game so
interesting.
Special.
Interesting.
That's so special. But yeah, no. That's yeah. Well, no, somebody mentioned it to me in chat when I was streaming it the other night, which, by the way, if you guys, I'm probably just going to have to stream the game more on YouTube. Not enough people go and follow me on Twitch. I wish you guys follow. It's so much more easy for me to stream games on Twitch. I do the back and forth. Sometimes I stream on Twitch, sometimes I stream on YouTube. It just kind of goes back and forth. I hope that you guys will go and watch the streams. If you guys haven't followed me on Twitch, please go do that. But somebody mentioned to me while I was streaming that I long rested. There's certain times, Mark, where if you long rest, you can change the story, because I long rested outside of an area where there was something going on and people died because I long rested.
Yeah, no, that happened. That happened to me too.
Like there was this one area where there was a cave in, and where there was this cave in and this NPC died, and there's this whole story and all these fights that I never got access to, specifically because I let that guy die. And I'm like, what? So I'm like walking through this like completely dead area, and I'm like, there's like nobody here, man. What the fuck's going on? And they're like, yeah, everybody left because you let that guy die. And I was like, what guy? And they're like, well, you can reload. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna reload. I get free loot now.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh man. Let's see here. So the other thing is that I'm trying to look at if I had any other notes of anything I wanted to talk about. Okay, can we take a fucking second to talk about how insane the voice acting is in this game?
I didn't freeze. I'm just messing with you.
I know.
The voice acting is so good. It's so good. I think my favorite voice actor is the general's voice. His voice is really, really good. It matches his character, the whole facade, the way he looks and the acts. It's really, really dope. Karlach's voice. Her call-outs are top notch.
Okay. So it's not just how great the voice acting is for the main characters. No, it's that every character is well voice acted.
Yeah.
It's all of them. It's the side characters. It's the random NPC that only has one line to say to you and has nothing else. They're just like, "Oh, did you see that over there?" And you're like, "That was really well voice acted." Like, it's random stuff all over at the same time, and it's so great that it's that way. But the thing is that the reason why it's so important that they have great voice acting is because this RPG has done something that a lot of games can't, either because they can't afford to, or they don't have the time to, or they don't care to. It's a mix of those different reasons. But a lot of gamers, the reason why this game, I'm going to say this. I think the reason why this game is so popular on such a wide level that people are normally not used to is specifically because of the fact that everything in the game is voice acted. There is nothing that is not voice acted outside of you looking and finding a book. You're not sitting there reading walls of text. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The only thing that's happening is like, that's the only times. The only walls of text you have are books that you find and read. Mm-hmm. But all of the dialogue, there's no walls of text. Any of the voices in your head, no walls of text. Everything is spoken to you, so you're always engaged. You're always in it. You're always running with it. You're always enjoying the game, and you're always locked in. And I think that's the reason why this game is holding for so long. Because somebody brought it up earlier today. It's beat its concurrent viewer count. Not only that, but now 2 weekends in a row, and pretty much the entire week since the game's entire release, it stayed steady with a really high concurrent player count, which is not something that's necessarily normal for a game that's not a live service game or an online multiplayer game.
No.
I mean, this has multiplayer, but you know what I mean.
God, you know what's so weird is this is the first game in a long time, and I have to exclude Final Fantasy XVI because I only played like 2 hours of it. That when I'm not assaulted by a battle pass, a store, or like I bought this game and it's the full game. Here you go. There's no like cash grabs. There's no gimmies. It's the game, and it's a complete meal. It's a Happy Meal with all the fries. You know what I mean?
So we are up to 70 concurrent viewers right now. Okay, so we are going to cut off the entries in 5 minutes. So I'll give Mark another 5 minutes of people that are trying to get into the contest. If you have not entered in, all you got to do is type a 1 in chat. That's all you got to do. Type a 1 in chat. If you have already typed it once, don't type it again because it's automatically going to get filtered out anyway. So, yeah. Make sure you type a 1 in chat if you've not typed in to get into the contest to win a copy of Baldur's Gate 3. So yeah, and the thing is that they do such a really good job of making sure that every single character has different dialect, different dialogue, different, like everybody feels like they're from somewhere else, but also in the same place at the same time, if that makes any sense. Like, yeah. It feels natural. It's not like you have this random guy with an accent that doesn't make any sense to the area that you're in. The only character that I think, the only character's voice, it's not that I don't like their voice actor. I think their voice actor does a great job. But the only character that I would say has like the most stereotypical voice actor is Halsin. Like, Halsin is very much just like, well, yes, adventurer. Yes, we need to go there into the woods and we need to do the thing and kill the goblins. And I'm like, wow, you sound like you would, like you sound like everybody else sounds like really unique and has a lot of flavor and stuff like that. But he's the only one that I'm like, man, you sound like I've heard you in a lot of other games like this game. Not that that's a bad thing. It's just something that stood
adventurer.
Out. Yeah. Hello, adventurer.
Everything's going good in the Grove.
The Grove will do fine without us, adventurer. Me and you need to go into the woods. Bow, wow, wow. There's a full moon tonight. And there's a bear out tonight.
Oh, we're nerds. Yeah, I saw a comment earlier from Audio that Baldur's Gate 3 was made for nerds. And yes, it was. And thank you. We're back.
Yeah. Quite possibly intentional. I like that. Yes, quite possibly intentional. Maybe they did try making this for nerds. Holy shit, 77 concurrent viewers. This is like the most people we've ever had watch the podcast before. Yeah. Thank you guys for coming. I hope you guys continue to keep watching. I hope you guys have had a good time watching it too. We do this, by the way, for all of you, if this is your first time coming by, we do the podcast every Sunday at 2 p.m. PST. where we obviously talk about RPGs. Right now, it's all about Baldur's Gate, a little bit of Diablo here and there. We're going to be looking at some Path of Exile soon in the future, some MMO stuff here and there as well. And then obviously we just take this opportunity to be able to talk to you guys and just kind of jam back and forth.
Right. Do you want me to share the screen, or you just want me to do it?
No, I can't really do anything to share the screen. It'll fuck up the podcast. Right. So, but the other one of the other topics that I had to talk about that I wanted to kind of wrap on, because I'm planning on doing a video on this, and I kind of want to get everybody else's opinion on this. So, a lot of you guys, if not all of you guys, have been playing Baldur's Gate 3, right? Obviously.
Yes.
What do you guys think about the gamifying of D&D? Do you think it really works in this situation? Because in some situations, obviously in the overarching game, I really enjoy it. And then at other times, when it comes to like exploration and stuff, at certain times, it feels kind of annoying. But then I also like it because there's certain things that I walk past and I know that I'll have to try to discover it next time because my perception was too low. Yeah. And then also at the same time, like there's certain parts with like the dialogue where I'm like, man, I kind of wish this was just part of the conversation. I wish I didn't have to roll for this sometimes. But for the most part, I enjoy all of it. And for the most part, I really do enjoy the dice rolling. But I don't know. I like in some situations, I really enjoy it. In other situations, it does end up being kind of I feel like it kind of hinders gameplay. And for some people, I could see it hindering gameplay for some people, for sure.
I mean, no, it will. For your casual people who aren't used to games like this, it's gonna hinder gameplay. But games like this that allow you to play or experience D&D like this is so much more inviting than your tabletop.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to know all the rules to play this game. The game's gonna keep you in those rules. You know what I'm saying? You're rolling for it, you get to physically see. You don't even have to know what your charisma is or this on that. You're just gonna roll, throw some guidance on there, whatever. Right? So that's helps the casual. I kind of I like the fact that, okay, so like I'm playing with Gil. Gil has to be the least athletic person in the world. If it wasn't for Misty Step,
that dude wouldn't go anywhere.
He wouldn't go anywhere.
He wouldn't go anywhere.
He wouldn't go anywhere. So it makes it interesting on how to navigate some stuff. But like I said, I like the figuring out of the stuff. So it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, it's kind of like bowling with bumpers. That'd be a good analogy. It's like bowling with bumpers. All right, you ready to roll?
Yeah, I'm ready to ride. Go ahead, man.
All
roll
right.
it up.
Let's see. I did this.
The Gale slander. The Gale stands are getting mad in chat, man. Better watch out.
All right, our first winner, forgive me if I pronounce this wrong, is Tobaxu.
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 Tobaxu, make sure that you contact me either on Twitter or on our Discord. Both links are down below. Obviously, my name is Ian, so you'll see that. And then make sure to I showed it before. I'll show it again really quickly so you guys can see. Make sure that you guys we still got another copy to give away, but make sure that you guys show me your little profile right here, because this will show that it was actually you that was in chat. I can use that as verification that you are the one that you say you are. So I'm not giving it away to somebody that was being a little sneak.
Congratulations, Tobaxu.
So Tobaxu, message me either on our Discord or on my Twitter, and I can give you your code. You have another roll to do, my friend.
I already did.
Okay, who you got?
I need a drum roll or something. DD.
That's it? Like,
that's
just,
it.
Just two letters?
DD. Just double Ds.
Double Ds. Double Ds, are you in chat? Double Ds. See if they're here. If they're here, then we're good. Where's my thingamabob? There it is.
Give him a minute or so.
Double D's. So, dude, who is DD? We all like double D's. Not in chat. I went. Yes, Tabaxu, you won.
Yeah.
There's double D. There's double D. Okay,
Yo,
so
double D.
Tabaxu and DD, congratulations, guys. All you got to do is hit me up on either my Twitter or on my or X, I guess, whatever it's called, or on the Discord. Links are down below. And I will give you guys your codes. That is super cool. It was really awesome being able to give some games out to you guys. We hope to be able to do more stuff like this in the future. The Discord link is down below.
Legendary drops.
Yeah. Discord link is down below, and Twitter link is also down below. You can use either or to be able to get a hold of me. So yeah, we hope to be able to do more stuff like this in the future. Honestly, it makes things really fun. It makes things really engaging. People are obviously having a lot more fun. I just want to say thank you to all you guys for all of the really kind comments, all the support on the videos, coming and hanging out for the podcast, coming and commenting on the videos and stuff like that. This whole you guys don't know this, but this is kind of wild. I was talking about it to Mark last night, but the YouTube channel actually blew up by about 4,000 subscribers in the last 30 days. So I've basically almost doubled the subscriber count just within the last month. And it's really cool. It's awesome to have this cool community of people that are kind of joining up. It's really awesome seeing all of the nice and kind words that you guys have to say. And yeah, it's just really cool. It's really cool. I don't really know what to say about this.
I got a question. Just from Zombie Legs Gaming. Why do you have a bad feeling about the PS5 version? What's giving you a bad feel for it?
So I'm obviously we'll see we'll see what their response is. That is actually a really good question. But one of the things that I would imagine a lot of people are probably a little bit censorship. There's no censorship on the Baldur on the PlayStation 5 version, is there?
I don't know.
I haven't seen anything about that.
There might be. I don't know. Sony's kind of weird about their. Well, Sony's weird about their censorship. They really are.
Oh. Well, no, they have to announce that kind of stuff. They can't just change the product without anything. The only reason why I would think about that is you have to have a localized version, right? Because they can't release the full nudity version in they can't release the full nudity version in Japan, right? Mm-hmm. I'd imagine there has to be a different censorship models for each region. For each region. Yeah, because obviously every country has their own rules and things like that, so they have to kind of work around that. But I haven't seen anything come out about PlayStation 5 censorship.
I haven't either. And to Michael James, I had a couple of I never had any crashes in Act 3. I just got into Act 3, and I haven't had crashes, but I did have some performance issues, some dips, and there's a lot of NPCs. So it's eating up some resources.
Yeah, so different countries have different rules about censorship. Obviously, so certain games will be banned from certain areas. However, the thing is that Sony themselves cannot ask for a censored version of the game just for their console. That's not how that works. It can go in different. It can go they can censor their own games if they want to. So if Sony's releasing a Sony title and then that game is going to be censored, that's a different story. But from what I understand, I don't think that developers can platforms can request a censored version for their platform only. I've seen somebody actually talking about that within the last month or so on Reddit, and that's not a thing. The only thing that they can do is obviously censor by country, right? Because every country has different rules. Isn't the game PEGI 18? Yeah, it is. It is a rated mature for nudity and violence and all that good stuff.
Yeah. So the modding stuff, I wouldn't expect to see any of that on console, to be honest with you. That's a Steam area or PC area for those mods.
So what Larian does, so just for you console people that don't normally play games on PC, yeah, it's not an ESRB thing, it's a PEGI thing. So but what I was gonna tell you guys something really important. Oh, modding. So with Divinity Original Sin 2, a lot of the most popular mods made their way through on gift bags. So basically, Larian would kind of pre-package some of the mods and make them kind of integral to the game and then release them later. So like they made, there was like the weapons one where they added all the legendary weapons to the game. There was a few other things that they did as well. So chances are, from what I understand, it doesn't really look like there's going to be any. It doesn't really look like there's going to be any mods specifically for console. Not for a while. But yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah. There's a mod right now that I have to learn. I need to figure out how to use it. But there's this guy that made a really good camera mod to be able to take like pictures and stuff like that in Baldur's Gate 3. And he's been taking some wild pictures, and I need to get it so then I can start taking screenshots for thumbnails and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've had some beautiful really cool times where I've just sit there and just stare at my screen, just looking at it.
I think that's one of the things that actually is really disappointing about Baldur's Gate 3 is that they made this beautiful game with these beautiful characters, but they didn't include a photo mode. I feel like that's genuinely probably one of the biggest failures of the game, or probably the only one, to be honest with you. Is that like, and that's not even a bad one. It's just like man, it would have been really cool to be able to take some pictures. You know what I mean? Like there's some really cool moments to be able to take some pictures.
Some facial sliders already. I'm gonna wait till I'm done with my first playthrough, and then I'll start playing modded.
Yeah. So like there's all kinds of stuff that people are putting out mod related right now. I think I talked to you about it already, but I plan on discussing this in a video as well. But there's a ton of stuff. There's also some really questionable stuff as well too. No, I mean like some really I did see somebody made a child mod.
Oh, that's wrong.
Where you can make yourself a child.
No.
Yeah. But at the same time, the person that made that mod also fixed it so that romance scenes can't actually can't happen if you have that mod engaged. But at the same time, then you just find somebody that can actually go ahead and fucking turn that off.
Turn that off.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just weird, man. It's just people are weird, dude. Like why? And then at the same time, you're gonna have some people on the side. They're gonna be like, well, I want that kind of freedom, and it's like, I don't want you to have any.
Yeah. You're like Chris Hansen. He is over there.
Yeah. Like it's just one of the so there's but there's also some really cool mods that are also coming out. I think probably the ones that I'm looking forward to the most are going to be class related.
Class related is what I'm looking forward to.
And then I could also see like further leveling.
Yeah.
I don't know to what extent the mod tools or because they're getting the whole developer console.
Wow.
From what I understand, it's the full dev console. So technically, if they had the people and the know-how and the dedication, we could see like full-on like act expansions.
Yeah.
We could see like traveling to a completely different zone. All kinds of stuff. You know what I mean? There's a ton of custom maps would be really cool. Custom campaigns would be really cool. A lot of people were talking about before how they were hoping for Dungeon Master mode. I would imagine that somebody's probably just going to mod a Dungeon Master mode in. I don't think it's going to be super necessary for you to have to worry about Baldur's Gate releasing one. Actually, I was thinking about the DM mode. You want to know why there's no DM mode? Wizards of the Coast.
Is it?
Because they're pushing their digital version.
Oh yeah.
Look at their YouTube channel right now. Why do you think they're sitting on there and they're trying to promote Baldur's Gate 3? Because they're also actively at the same time promoting their digital version of Dungeons and Dragons that they're trying to push as well.
I'd like to give that a try too. I haven't played probably like sit down D&D since I was maybe 14.
Yeah.
So it's been at least 30 years.
Yeah, I 100% think it's a Wizards of the Coast thing. Because they don't want a property directly competing with their products that they're going to be coming out with. Yeah. Because here's the thing, if you could have custom campaigns in Baldur's Gate 3, why the fuck would you play theirs? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why would you play theirs? Yeah. And because whether it would be that much of a competition, I don't know. Because at the same time, like, most people actually do really want the more classic tabletop style that you would get from playing Dungeons and Dragons, the digital one, which I think we should look into that for next week. I'd like to talk about that a little bit more, because I would like to start a weekly D&D on this channel. Well, would you guys in chat be interested in us doing a weekly D&D on this channel, either on Roll20 or something like that? If you are interested, type a, I don't know, yes.
Type a yes.
Type a yes. Very complicated answer.
No, like, they're two different experiences. You know what I mean? Like, you can't play the tabletop / DM mode. Those are specifically like party based. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be like a group of people communicating and talking versus, you and a buddy just playing, Baldur's Gate. So I don't know. They're two different. I think they're two different products.
Oh yeah, it's two completely different experiences. Well, I think the one is more cinematic. The other one would take a lot more focus on us playing together, really trying to be creative, and trying to have a good, like a really good campaign. You know what I mean? Yeah. It can't just be as simple. Like, I could imagine, especially if you're talking about like from a streaming perspective, imagine watching 2 people or 4 people, playing like a made campaign on Baldur's Gate 3, or like a custom campaign on Baldur's Gate 3 would be a little bit more cinematic than, say, watching people on a stream playing tabletop. Unless those people are doing unless you're doing something in the way of Critical Role, right? Exactly.
And I think voice actors,
it doesn't even really need to be voice actors. I don't think. I think you can really still get away with having a really good campaign if you're just letting your personality out and really like RPing your character and making the choices that your character would make, or having the kind of conversations that your character would make, and things like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. It would be easier with that than it would be on the other one. Like, what Critical Role does, like, you've got, which I haven't ran into his character that he's voicing on Baldur's Gate 3 yet, so I wonder where that's going to happen. Anyway, but you have like the DM who's like so good at like painting a picture with his words and his voices that he's doing.
Yeah.
That you can literally just listen to it. You don't have to watch it. You can just listen to it. That would be, I think, a lot better to stream-wise doing it in game for sure.
What is your biggest headache with Baldur's Gate 3? What is the one thing about Baldur's Gate 3? If you said you didn't enjoy something about it, what is the one thing that you don't?
My least favorite thing, like if I were to get, like, I can't compare Baldur's Gate 3 to any other game other than Divinity Original Sin 2. Okay. That's the only 2 that I can compare against. So I'm going to take what I like about one that doesn't have the other. I would like to, I think that was a mod. Like you could rest, like your bedroll doesn't use any like camp supplies and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That gets old. And I'll give y'all guys a hint. If you're still in Act 1, stock up on some rations, because Act 2 is not nice.
Seriously, make sure that you guys are pulling up as many rations as you possibly can, because it definitely becomes useful. Though at the same time, like I feel like I'm bad about it because I've actually picked up too many rations. So now, like, I kind of feel like I can almost abuse the rest system. Yeah, where I'm basically always full rested and always have everything that I need. I like that the game in certain scenarios, without spoiling anything, doesn't allow you to take full rests. You can't rest. You have to complete this area, this zone, this thing without resting. Those are a real challenge because you're so used to not managing your resources, and then you're thrown into this situation where you do. And I was super wasteful in the very beginning of an encounter that I was struggling when it came to the last part, because the last part is obviously going to be the most difficult part, right? And I'm like, oh, I have like no spells to use. I have like no heals. Like I had to get like really tactical about my placement, what I was doing, who I was using, where I was using them, what spells I was using, trying to knock or push them off of a side of a building or something like that to be able to get rid of them.
I keep seeing inventory, people in the chat saying inventory.
100% inventory shit. I agree. I agree.
I usually hit encumbrance before my inventory is full.
It's not about that. It's not about that.
So I mean, like,
how many times have you found an item and you couldn't find it in your inventory immediately?
Well, you have to sort it.
Well, I mean, even if you sort it, you could sort it by recent. But like when you're looking at the icons, you're like, where the fuck did that thing go? Like the icons are small.
Yeah, they are.
So it makes it difficult to see. So it makes it difficult to see. You can't resize the UI, so that makes it difficult as well. But then beyond that, the other issue is that I'm just really not a fan of the sorting system. However, something that I will say that I started doing is I just picked up other backpacks.
Yep.
So then that way I can sort my stuff on my own. So when I find stuff, I have a backpack that has all my potions in it. I have a backpack that has all my equipment or gear pieces that I have. One that has, obviously you have like your alchemy pouch and stuff like that. So that helps out a lot too. And then I have like one for like key items, because you pick up a shitload of key items and they'll really bugger up your inventory pretty quickly. But there's ways for you to be able to do it. I shouldn't say it's terrible. It's not a terrible inventory system. I've seen much worse.
Oh yes.
But it definitely could use a little bit of optimization. I feel like that's probably. Larian came forward. They said specifically that they're planning on doing a couple of really big patches. Obviously, they've been doing a lot of hot fixes, but they said that they're working up to their first big patch, which is probably going to have some like balancing stuff, probably some larger fixes that take a little bit more time and care, and then we're probably going to see some UI adjustments, I would imagine, over time. And
I can guarantee there's going to be, like, on PC, there's mods for your inventory. I can guarantee there are.
Yeah. Also, Gabriel, thank you for saying exactly what I do myself. I gave Carlock double carry, so then she just becomes my pack mule. Every time I'm like, I'll kill like an entire battlefield of enemies, and I'm like, Carlock, go get their weapons. It's time to be rich. Because there's been times where I've made myself poor in this game, and I'm like, oh, that's not good. It's time to go loot everything.
Yeah, it gets pricier and pricier. And I think that was, like, I don't have a whole lot of complaints or gripes about this game. I really don't. God, I think it's, for me, it's met my expectations and surpassed them. The pacing, you talked about it when we were streaming. The pacing in this game is ridiculous. Like, there's not this high crescendo, then a deep lull, and then up and down. It's just like it ramps, and then something crazy that you're not expecting happens. You're like, what the F is that? And then you go on and do something else. You're like, holy shit, this game's crazy.
To side swerve any type of like spoilers or anything like that, it's wild that the game. So you're playing the first act, and you're like, man, how do they match this? And then you get into the second act, and you're like, holy shit. Like, it ramps so hard. And then I turned and then I'm talking to Mark while I'm playing. And then I revealed, like, I'm sitting there because I'm playing the game, and I'm like, man, this feels like I'm getting to the end of the game already. Because in most games this would be the end. You know, this is that mad, you know, rise to the top where everything's getting crazy. There's all this wild stuff that's going on, very fantastical, big cutscenes, all that stuff. And then all of a sudden, you know, that's when usually it comes back down, and that's the end of the game. And I'm like sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, what, are we just gonna go to like Baldur's Gate and just like chill?
Yeah.
Like, is that what the last act of the game is gonna be? Just like us just like vibing in Baldur's Gate and just doing adventure shit? And then I'm like, oh, I forgot about something that they said at the very beginning of the game. And I'm like, oh God, this game's gonna be huge.
It's gonna be
This game's gonna be huge.
And I'm not gonna spoiler this because many YouTube channels have said this. Baldur's Gate is huge. I'm not talking about the game. I'm talking about the flippin' city in the game. Is huge. Like the entire probably. Man, I don't even know. I've probably walked the entirety of like the first area in Divinity. You know, I'm talking about that first island area, that whole deal, and I still haven't.
Fort Joy?
Yeah, Fort Joy plus the island part, that whole area before you leave that area.
Yeah.
And I haven't even gotten into the city yet. So it's big.
That's crazy. Holy.
Yeah, it's big.
It's gonna be a while before I get there. It's probably gonna be another couple of days before I get much further.
No, where you are, you're about if you're at the same spot where you left off last night, you're probably about 2 fights away from it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
What is this Baldur's Gate 76? What are you talking about?
Inventory.
Games playable. Was the inventory really bad in that?
I don't know.
I never played Fallout 76. I have no idea.
Yes, Cyberpunk is playable, and my son highly recommends it now.
Really?
Yeah, he says it's really, really good.
With the DLC, did that come out already?
No, the DLC hasn't come out yet.
I might return to play it when the DLC comes out.
But his 4090 will be in when that's ready. You see the picture I sent you? The video I sent you?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, so
his PC floats off the ground with all the fans it has.
Dude. That's like he texted me while I was working, and he's like, "Hey, can you come help me put my computer together when you get home?" I was like, "Yeah, okay." So I get home, and he's already got this cooler in. I'm like, "Cool, I don't have to mess with that." He's got all he's got it all put together.
Yeah.
Except for the fans. And he's like, "Yeah, I just want you to put the fans in." I was like, "You son of a bitch."
Oh, you didn't even get the fun part.
No. It's like, how many fans did you buy? All of them? Okay.
No shit. That's always the question when you're building a PC, right? You're building your first PC, actually, it's not your first one. When you're building your second PC, and after you know what you need to actually buy and all the parts that you need, that's when you're like, okay. So I want to put about 12 fans in this, and I need to figure out where I'm going to put all those fans.
Yeah.
And if then also I'm going to attach a box fan to the top of my computer.
Yeah. I put my hand over the top after he's got it up and running. And I said, we're gonna have to wait to see when your 4090 comes in, what kind of heat it's gonna generate. It's a lot of voltage, and so over the top, I like, dude, it's blowing out cold air. And I was like, okay. I looked over. He's like, I think his CPU is running at like 24 degrees Celsius.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, so, that is, and that's with his 30 series in there right now.
Yeah, with the 3070 Ti. Yeah,
3070 Ti. Yeah, mine is a mine will heat my whole house, honestly.
He's like, I just set old pizza on there and just
it's good to go. Yeah,
good to go.
No, it's good to go. My current PC, like, I have an AC unit over in the other side of my room, and on this side of the room, it always feels like there's no AC in this room.
Yeah.
I swear to God, like, sometimes if you guys will watch some of my YouTube videos, you might see like I'm just slightly glistening up here sometimes. It's mostly because I'm like sweating and waiting to turn the light off and all this stuff, where I'm just like, because I have to turn the AC off to do my recording. Otherwise you'll hear it in the background when I'm recording videos and stuff. So I'm like, dude, that's why I want a bigger apartment one day. Right now I just don't really have a whole lot of room. Do you guys think Starfield's narrative is going to end up? No. So here's the thing. I'm gonna call this out, and some people aren't gonna like this. Okay, some people aren't gonna like it. But here's the deal. This channel is based on whether you guys can. If you guys like me and understand me and get where I'm coming from, then then we're all good. If you don't, then it is what it is. It's not a big deal. You know what I mean? That's why I say at the end of my videos, if you like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you didn't like the video, that's cool too. It's not that big of a deal. We're not always going to agree on everything. I don't think Bethesda games have very good narratives. except for Oblivion and Skyrim. I think Oblivion and Skyrim.
The narrative. I think I would argue the narrative in Oblivion was better than Skyrim's.
The only thing that I remember from actually I'll take that. Okay, I only remember 2 things from Skyrim, which is crazy because I have played Skyrim. I don't even know how many fucking times actually. I played it a lot. I bought it 3 times and played it 3 times. I have so many hours in Skyrim. I only remember the obviously the meme of like waking up on the cart and being taken and being hauled off, and then I also remember like the first fight with the first dragon, and also like the last boss dragon. I remember that fight and everything that went on with that. But like so far as like their narratives, a lot of their stuff is better written in book than it is actually in the game.
Yeah, their narrative are yes no. That's what their narrative is. There's no gray area. There's no furthering a conversation. It is literally a yes no.
New
answers.
Vegas wasn't Bethesda though.
It was Obsidian.
Yeah, New Vegas was Obsidian. That's a different story. Obsidian. No, we can talk about Obsidian. Obsidian's good. Obsidian makes way better narratives, in my opinion. And this is my opinion. This is obviously not a blanketed truth, but yeah. So if we were going to So here's my deal. If we're talking about if you're gonna make it a competition between Baldur's Gate 3 and Starfield in narrative, it's not gonna be a fight. That's not a fight.
I think Scope
is a different story.
Yeah, Starfield would mop them. If they pull it off, what they're saying.
But we have to keep in mind. So here's the thing. So this is, I guess we'll have like our little discussion on a Game of the Year thing, right? Because I'm going to be honest with you. I loved Tears of the Kingdom. I loved that game. And I was like, dude, they just nailed it. Like even with Final Fantasy 16, I was like, there's just no way. I don't know if you're going to be able to top this. Cause like, it was really cool what they did, with the, like the build system in Breath of the Wild, or not Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. Final Fantasy 16 was obviously really great, but it was really great from more of a cinematic perspective, musical perspective, spectacle. Final Fantasy 16 was great from a spectacle perspective. Baldur's Gate 3 is good on basically everything. I mean, it nails all. It's nailing every single peg right now, right?
Yeah. Billy, I want to get with him. So when he's talking about the storylines, it's not the storylines, and I know we're saying narrative. It's about the interaction and conversation that you have within those storylines. It's just yes, no. You're just being told what to do, where to go.
Yeah,
you understand? You're not making any decisions about it.
No, when I'm talking about narrative, I'm talking overarching narrative. You can have a ton of really cool little small storylines. I 100% agree with that. But I think overarching narrative and the narrative that you usually have, like the interactivity that you have with most of these storylines is of a much higher quality in Baldur's Gate 3 because it's a game that has to be that because that's what the whole fucking game is about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Skyrim, Oblivion, the Elder Scrolls games and Fallout games, those are not just about the story. Those games have a lot of emphasis on their combat, on their exploration, on all kinds of other things. This is a completely different story. When you're playing a CRPG, that story and that narrative has to be solid.
Yeah.
Solid.
Prime example, Solasta. Great combat in that game. Great combat in Solasta. Terrible narrative. Terrible voice acting. Just the all of it.
I mean,
Plato, Wallace and Gromit characters. I mean, it was pretty bad.
But that was also like an indie game.
Yeah, it is an indie game. Don't get me wrong.
And then also, I don't think the narrative was that bad.
It was bad.
Oh my
god, it was so bad. It was laughable.
You're gonna get roasted in the comments on this video, dude. People are gonna come for your throat on that one. I think Solasta was good overall. I think it was of a quality of a single A game or not single A but an indie game.
Their combat was top notch. Their combat mechanics were top notch. I'm not complaining about that, but yeah, the narrative was pretty.
So, but anyway, going back to the well, yeah, of course their voice acting is going to be lackluster. Who are they gonna pay? Who are they gonna pay to do it? Look at all the top end voice actors they got for Baldur's Gate 3.
I'm not even talking. Like, they literally pulled up like family members. Like, hey, just read this. And that's what it sounded like. It sounded like, oh, you're going over there. Okay.
If I was making an indie game, you bet that I would probably voice every character in the game. I would be the lusty maiden. Hey, boys, how you doing today? Do you wanna?
It was so
I'd voice them all. I'd voice them all. But anyway, so if we're making a comparison to a game that obviously isn't even out yet, so we can't all we can go off is of the history of what we know. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't expect Starfield to just feel like every other Bethesda game you've ever played, but it's now in space, well, you're off base, because it's going to play and it's going to feel like every other Bethesda game you've ever played before. It's just going to be in space. But the thing is that, but it's just one of the, it's one of those deals where, like, no matter what, we're not really going to know how to compare those games until Starfield's actually out. We still got a few weeks before that's going to happen. But I think if we're going to try to compare narratively, I don't think that Starfield is going to hit the same in a narrative sense, but it's going to hit really hard in the exploration sense, because that's what they've gone for in this game. It's all about exploration. Do you see that moon? You can go to it. Do you see that planet? You can go to it. That's the point of the game. That's really what they're going to be trying to drive. It's not going to be about pretty much anything more than that. I mean, like, obviously, I'm pretty sure that's what the story itself is about too, trying to find some hidden planets and stuff, right?
Yeah, it was some alien artifacts. It's an artifact finding game.
Well, no, because they're trying to find aliens in general, right? Because I think it's mostly human.
Yeah,
like it's human colonies and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. So my plan with Starfield is I'm going to play it on PC Game Pass, and then once mods come out for it, I'm going to buy it on Steam.
Once mods come out, you're gonna buy
it. If I like the game enough.
Oh yeah. That's really weird with Xbox.
Yeah, PC Game Pass is so weird.
PC Game Pass is so weird with that.
It is.
That's the downside of Game Pass. Well, they've gotten better about it because they did it with Minecraft. You can mod on Minecraft. Yeah,
but that's because they put their own client into the deal, but they don't do that. They won't do that for Starfield. They're not going to make their own client.
No?
No. We're not going to make a client for Starfield. That's crazy.
I don't know, man. Wait, no, hold on. They did it for Skyrim.
Yeah, for Skyrim.
So how is this game any different?
9 years later.
Yeah. Was it really that long?
Yes.
It was a Game of the Year edition, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or like the Games with Gold version or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah, it was something crazy.
It didn't come out. Yeah, modding didn't come out with launch. I forgot all about that. It's probably because the game's like 40 years old now.
Yeah, it is.
It is. And also on top of that, it's easy for you to lose sight of all the features and what happened with the game when you come out with like 40 different versions of the same game.
Yeah.
Those like Alexa commercials.
Toaster Skyrim.
Yeah, Toaster Skyrim and the Alexa Skyrim and the fridge Skyrim and all that stuff. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. But the thing is, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't see Baldur's Gate getting it swept out from under it, because like, look at what is its Metacritic score now? Didn't it take
97.
Holy, that's
97. It beat Zelda.
Stanky.
Stank.
And I don't even really like Metacritic, to be honest with you.
I don't either.
Baldur's Gate. Okay, so Metacritic, Baldur's Gate currently is sitting at a 97 with a 91 user score. Not bad. 97 with a 91 user score.
Uninstall.
What about OpenCritic? Let's check OpenCritic. OpenCritic. Baldur. Oh my God, could I spell today? 97 with 100%. I actually, personally, I don't know how you guys feel. I like OpenCritic more, just because it doesn't have that. There's weird stuff that goes on with this user score that people like to go by. And I'm going to give you guys a really good example of that right now. User score. Let's look at the lowest user scores. When I mean user scores are a weird thing to go by, this is what I'm talking about right here. A complete failure. Another instance of devs taking everything from us. Another worthless sequel is so deranged it got banned from Twitch. Metacritic threatened to stop evil games from getting honest review scores, and it seems this is the first example of dishonesty.
Based.
Continuing on. Combat is incredibly slow. Even the smallest skirmishes drag on forever. Dialogue. The dialogue is fan fiction levels of awful. The companions are... I can't even fuck... Look at this. God. How about this one, guys? 4 out of 10, just to balance out the hype. What are you talking about? Honestly, one of the worst games I've ever played. I don't even care that it is an original Sin 2 clone and has nothing in common with Baldur's Gate. This game is very depraved. The dialogue is Reddit tier awful, and the combat is boring and slow. Depraved. Never again. What? Never again what? Fusion? Never again what? What are you never again what? What are you never gonna buy a game again? Probably for the best. Never review again? That would be definitely for the best. 2 out of 10 couldn't get into it. What? That's not how you leave a review.
No. So it's fair. This, like, CRPGs aren't for everyone. So I imagine there's going to be a lot of this. There's going to be people who get it and they're just like, yeah, it's not for me. You know what I mean? Here's the thing. This is absolutely valid. That is a valid take because there are people that are going to watch. So I watched somebody's review, a really, really bad review on this game. Super fucking bad, I'm going to be honest with you. Where he's like, I thought this game was going to play like Diablo. And I'm like, why? Why did you think it was going to play like... Whatever gave you the impression that this was going to be like Diablo 4? And he's like, the combat in Diablo 4 is much better. And I'm like, no, it's... What? It's not even the same game. They're not even the same genre. It's a classic RPG. Are you out of your mind? Oh,
yeah, but that's the thing. I think there are a lot of people that are going to buy into the game because they bought into the hype, because they see a bunch of other people are getting really surprised by the game. Oh, man, everybody says it's really good. I'm going to go try it. And then they find out they don't like turn-based games. And that's completely fine. But that is not a reason to rate a game a fucking 2 or a 0 because it's a genre that you don't get into and your dumbass bought it. And on top of that, most of these idiots bought it on Steam and they could have returned it. You could have returned it in the first couple hours. Look at Shane's feedback. Even EA and Ubisoft make hard copy games. Very, very anti-consumer to only make digital copies. It's 2023! What are you talking about? Hard copies? Most of us don't even have disc drives. Most of us don't even have DVD players.
Well, here's the real kick in the dick, okay? So you buy a game and you go and you install it and it has to do a day one update. You don't have a disc. Because as soon as they shut down those servers and you uninstall that game, you go to play it again, you don't have a game. And half of those games aren't even on the disc. It's just an 8 megabyte code that lets you play the game. Yeah. It's crazy.
I'm sorry. When it comes to like the digital stuff, most of us just buy digital anyway. Don't get me wrong, there's a subset of people that like to buy physical copies, but nobody does it anymore. And even when we were buying hard copies of games, especially Samantha, thank you, hard copies on PC, we stopped those like fucking 15 years ago. What are you talking about? Hard copy for PC? What is that, a fucking floppy disk? What are you talking?
Play some Oregon Trail.
Yeah. What are you talking about? What is this boring, outdated game? What is this one here? There was one of them that was like, I thought was really funny. Game has an insane amount of bugs and lags. It's completely unplayable. Story and characters overall are solid. 4 out of 10. I mean, yeah, okay. You can complain about the bugs. If you want to complain about the bugs, you can complain about the bugs. That's fine. That's fine. I'll give it to you.
Like, there's bugs, but it's not.
It's nothing game. I have not personally experienced anything game breaking. No. Still listening to CDs? Yes. I guess what? I still have my CD book. You know, like the one that you used to keep in your car. You had it on your center console.
Oh yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
You said you like just keep like flipping over like this.
It's like this fucking big.
Yeah.
It's just 40 pages. You know what I mean? Most of it's like there's like 3 different copies of like 3 Doors Down in there for some odd reason. You don't even know how it got in there. There's that like
Matchbox 20.
There's that Nickelback CD you got flipped the other way so nobody knows you have it.
Oh shit!
What are we listening to today?
Like a wild man.
What are we listening to today? Fucking Disturbed? Oh my god. The plot of Baldur's Gate 3 feels. I don't care about this. I don't know. It's just funny. Bad graphics, terrible animations, terrible story, stupid AI in combat. Stupid AI in combat. Do you mean you're stupid?
He probably put it on the easiest setting.
Wait, do the characters play for themselves?
No, it's just.
Is it autoplay?
The fights are wet paper towels.
Oh, well, of course you're going to get that. It's story mode. I don't get why this game is so hyped. It's such a bad indie game. Oh, shit, man. That's good. I really like that. I haven't played that rubbish in a long time. I let myself be tempted by positive 10 reviews. I don't even, some of these people can't even speak English. Actually, there's actually people that are actually typing in their native language. So there's people that just actually can't write their own language. That's what it is. Oh man, boring and outdated game.
You know what? You know what? I do have a complaint.
Go ahead.
I would like more music. Like the music that's in the game is really good.
Yeah.
I would like more of it.
Wish they could crank it a little bit higher.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Well,
I was hyped about Bro, like this is what you guys get for user scores. Well, I was hyped, but the history isn't that great, to be honest. Bad camera movement and slow as hell. Also, I got some bugs, too bad. So, not impressed. That's your high quality. That's your high fucking quality review scores from the users that are leaving reviews. Most of these people couldn't make it out of the damn menus. Most people couldn't make it out of the damn menus. It's repetitive and so boring. Occasional bugs, performance issues, incomplete features, and the ongoing development causing changes in mechanics. The fuck is that supposed to mean? And the ongoing development causing changes in mechanics. Oh, like balancing. You mean like every fucking game you've ever played?
Maybe he thinks this is Diablo.
Keep in mind, this is of my last update in 2021.
What's up, Wooly?
Why?
Ian just had an aneurysm.
Why? Why? Why would you come to leave a review when your last experience was playing the game in 2021 in early access? Yeah, I haven't played the full version, but this is just my experience from playing the game back in 2021.
Yeah, someone left that review for early access.
What is this?
Oh my god.
Overhyped again, like Cyberpunk. A big red flag to me was when the marketing was 80% about romances and the character creation instead of the gameplay. CRPGs are about gameplay and adventure. Who cares about how many characters look or about romances?
Yeah, so yeah, you know what I want a CRPG to do when they're doing their advertisements? Show me all of like the hype, like, sizzle reel stuff that I'm gonna run into so that it's already spoiled for me. Thanks. I'd appreciate that.
Yeah. Actually, they did a really good job with their trailers, because there are moments in the trailers where I came up to a place and I was like, oh, this is the place from the trailer. This is really cool. Like, it was cool. Like, I saw it, I was like, oh, that's what this is from. It was like seeing that stuff out of context, like, really had no meaning at all. So seeing it in the game ended up being really cool. I was really excited for this, but it feels like a worse Divinity where you need to camp between every battle to recover your spell slots.
And that's why I'm saying in Divinity, you just tapped your bedroll and you didn't have to use any stuff. It's the same thing. It's the same thing, except for it cost more to do it now in Baldur's Gate than it did in Divinity.
What is this? Can someone please explain how people, quote unquote people, so not real people, actual lizard people, lizard people gave this game a 10 out of 10 next day after launch, though type of games CRPGs are long. I'm talking about 100 plus hours at least. Overall, the game, it's bad. It has nothing to do. It has.
They act like they had a character count on this. They're like, oh, hit my character count. It's bad.
It has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with old games. Only locations and some characters, companions, for example. Wait, hold on. It has nothing to do with old games. Only locations and some characters, for example. Gameplay is turn-based, 5th edition. That's a bad system from the start. People who played know what I am talking about. Second, no real time. Oh, because it's not real time. So big encounters are going to be a pain. Because you have to wait for X another amount of enemies to continue before you can move. Writing made something like Fallout 4 look like Deus Ex. Ironic writing and Reddit type humor make your eyes roll every 5 minutes. Companions are bad. The only decent one is Gale and Will. The old companions don't count. If this game is a masterpiece, that would explain why the gaming industry is in the toilet right now.
Sophisticated neckbeard.
Is that what his name was? Oh, no. You
no,
got me on that one. I would have believed it, though.
Up.
Yeah. I mean, not so sophisticated. Not so sophisticated. 150 hours of cinematics, no thanks. Turn-based combat can lob itself out the window. Not enough hours in the day for this game unless you're a 24/7 gamer. I would imagine half of the people that actually left reviews, I would love to be able to actually take an actual poll and see how many of the people that left reviews on this page that are zeros didn't even actually play it.
Yeah. It's probably all those other developers that were mad.
What the look at some of these oh shit. Okay, that was weird. It said no blank censorship. You can play the whole thing naked. But that doesn't make the point and click RNG gameplay and camera any less goddamn awful.
No, but it does cast some cool shadows. So,
all right, dude. Could you imagine basing your purchase off of people that were leaving Reddit or leaving Metacritic scores? I only like to see it because usually for the most part it gives you an idea of how people are receiving the game overall. Metacritic scores and even like critic scores, like actual professional critics, shouldn't indicate what your purchasing is going to be. I would never look at a score on Metacritic and go, yeah, I'll buy that game. No. Unless it was something way older. Unless it was like an old game. Then it's like, okay, well then, yeah, okay. Like, it's been a couple of years. I never bought that game. How did people like that game? Let me go back and look. Maybe it was a game that wasn't on my radar. It wasn't something I was really interested in. Then I'll go take a look at it. I'll see what's up. Hey, is it any good? Okay, yeah, people really liked it. Okay, all right, yeah, I'll give it a shot. But like, could you imagine like reading some of those reviews and then basing your fucking purchasing a decision off of that? Like,
no.
What? Like, some people are just...
like, I don't even buy games off of people's reviews. You know what I mean? Like, you can just watch a YouTube video on it and be like, you can look at it. If you played games and you're a gamer, like, you know, you play a lot of games, you can look at a game and be like, it's got some red flags. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and there's only really one reviewer that I really actually listen to their opinion, and that's Skill Up, to be honest with you. Like, me and him are kind of on the same page on a lot of stuff. So I trust his opinion on things.
So I wouldn't like. I do, but I also don't obviously don't blindly take in other people's expectations. So the thing is, like, I'll just give an example of this. He didn't like Final Fantasy 16, and I just wholeheartedly disagree with him on some of the parts that he had about it. You know what I mean?
I agreed with him on a lot of those parts of it. So.
It's been a long time since we've had a one-on-one chat. I don't think we have a need for anybody else on the show anymore. But so it's just wild to read some of that stuff. I was eventually part of me wanted to make a hot takes video. Maybe I still will. I don't know. I just have to figure out how to actually edit it properly and not look like an idiot while I'm trying to do it. That's like the biggest part. That's like the biggest problem for me is like when I'm trying to come up with like video ideas that are like fun and entertaining and good for and people want to actually enjoy watching. It's really difficult to like figure what's actually in my wheelhouse and what's not. And I feel like doing like a hot takes video is more like drama content. I don't know if I'm any good at drama content. You know what I mean?
No,
I don't know if I can do that.
You're a little dramatic.
Me? I am not dramatic.
Me? Oh no, not me.
Excuse me, sir. How dare you? I am not dramatic. I cannot believe you'd say that about me. Yeah. So yeah. I'm going to Distant Worlds tonight.
What is Distant Worlds?
Distant Worlds is a
and
Final
Jackie
Fantasy...
clearly gave me your ticket, so
yeah,
you're not going.
Distant Worlds is a Final Fantasy. It's a Final Fantasy orchestra. So they play music across. So they play music from all across the different games that they've had over 30 years that Square Enix has been making Final Fantasy games. It's very cool. If you guys have not had the opportunity to go. It's super cool, super fun. They always have these like really cool backdrops. Sometimes depending on if the songs actually have singers, they'll have singers come out and do the songs. The orchestra is just killer. They absolutely smash it every single time. It's just really cool. It's just chill. It's fun. I enjoy it quite a lot.
Is it like a suit and tie type of deal or
No, I'm wearing what I'm wearing right now. I got a little Final Fantasy XIV swag on right now. I'm gonna go.
Swag.
Yeah, I'm gonna go wearing my my Mama Heidelin shirt tonight. Most people just buy the merch there and put it on like immediately.
Oh, like a rock concert?
Yeah. Hop up with their glow sticks. Do you know Lahi? I do know Lahi. Yeah, so that'll be a good time. Which I gotta get like dinner and stuff like that for that tonight too. I still haven't eaten. Oh, I ate this morning, but yeah.
I ate pizza.
Yeah.
It was good.
It's just like I want to play more Baldur's Gate like every waking hour of the day. It's really it's like even like right now I'm like, man, I want to play some more Baldur's Gate right now. Like,
if I don't just go in there and talk to my wife, I'm probably she's gonna stab me. So not right this second. I'm just saying like because
of how much you've been playing. Yeah.
Yes, like I gotta just go and be a husband, I guess.
Have they ever performed the opening metal song from Final Fantasy X? I think they have actually. They've done like they do a bunch of music from Final Fantasy XIV. Usually how it goes when you go to see Distant Worlds, they usually do one song from every Final Fantasy, and it's usually sometimes in order or like slightly out of order, and then they do like a melody, or not a melody. What is it called? When they mix songs together. My brain's not working. It's starting to short circuit.
Medley.
I think maybe, I don't know.
That's what it's called, is a medley when you mix songs.
So they'll do one where they kind of mix a bunch of different songs together, and then but usually, obviously, they stick on some of the big hits, right? So they'll hit on like Final Fantasy VII, and they'll play a couple songs from 7. They'll play a couple songs from 9 and 10, and they'll play a couple from 14, and they just try to make sure that they hit a lot of the big ones that they realize most people are probably there for, right?
Yeah.
Because like there's probably not going to be a ton of people there that are wanting to hear a song from Lightning Returns or Final Fantasy 4 or Final Fantasy X-2, the one where they're all singing and dancing girls or whatever they are. They're like pop singers. It was a weird game. It's a weird game. So yeah. Sure.
Took the whole week off? I'm jealous.
I don't know. That sounds fantastic. I was so jealous when I saw people talking about how they were taking full weeks off to play Baldur's Gate. And I'm like, man, I wish I could do that.
Yeah.
I wish I could do that. I wish I could just take a whole week off, play Baldur's Gate, make like 40 videos. Fuck, dude. I see how many videos people make on this game. Like, Mortismal is like running ragged. That dude is posting like 2 to 3 videos a day. That blows my. I mean, I realize that like those are people that do it full time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a like, and as much as I would absolutely love to do YouTube full time, I can't because I do too well in my actual career to be able to just switch and do. I mean, I guess at one point in time we got to make the choice to like chase a passion rather than a
sure thing.
Career, yeah, rather than the sure thing.
Rather than eating.
Yeah,
you know?
It's one of those weird things where it's like I totally get it from the perspective of people that didn't already have like an established career, but from like my perspective, where I already kind of have an established career, it's like, ugh. Whew, that'd be a hard hit to take.
Yeah.
Like don't get me wrong, like I think if I put a lot of effort in and I like really tried very hard. Especially like even taking like I think I actually might take some editing classes. Like I want to learn how to be a better editor, make more cinematic videos. If I could really hit up the editing, if I could really try hard and really like I had a full week every week to put into researching and making content, I think I could probably do a really good job at it. But
jump on the poop.
It's just a game.
And either sink or swim.
It's just hard. Jump on. What
okay. That makes a little bit more sense. I was sitting there thinking,
but you would jump in the pool.
Yeah.
I was like, why would you swim in? Ew, dude. What's wrong with you? Gross. Gross. Dude.
What's going on?
But yeah. Bro? So anyway, I got to get ready to go to Distant Worlds. So we got to cut the podcast, guys. It has been an absolutely great show. I hope you guys all show up next weekend, 2 p.m. PST. Same time, same place. Obviously, most of you guys stuck around the entire time, so you had to have enjoyed it or just forgot we were playing on the side. I hope that you guys have an absolutely fantastic week. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to comment on the video after it's been posted, after the podcast has been posted. Share it to your friends. This is like my favorite. This is literally my favorite part of the week, man. I love the podcast.
Yep. I love it.
Do you?
I do. This is my favorite part of it.
Yeah, it is. It's my favorite part of the week.
This is what we started. This is what started it all. So
yeah, this is actually this is where this YouTube channel started, is on this podcast. So thank you guys for coming. I hope you guys have a fantastic week. Stay cool. Stay safe. Peace. Now I gotta hit the button. I'm gonna do it like. Oh wait, hold on. I don't have the other thing. I don't have the end screen. There it is. Sorry. All right. Yeah. Anyway, bye guys. See ya. Have a good week. Bye. Enjoy your Baldur's Gate. See you guys on Tuesday or no, I don't know. I'll stream this week. I promise. I'll stream this week sometime. I will. I'll post it in the YouTube channel that I'm streaming. All right. Maybe tomorrow. I'll stream tomorrow. Bye.
Oh my God.